Be right back. Wiggle worm. Here, wiggle worm. Okay.
inDOCtriNATION. We haven't maxed out the day yet, have we?
Oh no, I'm gonna try again. Hold on, guys. Hold on, y'all. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Hey, everybody. I'm not going to be reading the chat too much because we are letting fireworks off. Just wanted to let y'all witness it a little bit. If the goddamn phone will work with me.
No, one more again is there.
Hopefully we can get most of the big ones.
Let me start another one in 30 minutes.
There we go. The big ones are going to be about the only thing we're going to get in frame, y'all. So, and I cannot see the chat. So, back to it, guys.
Boss of the hog. Who's getting drunk?
Oh, shit. Bakhmut. This is Friends and Codes music. I'm going to watch Rogan. How's it going, Dirty? Good to see you, brother.
Yeah. Portraits. Portraits up and down.
Hey, Batman doesn't believe I wear a kilt.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Here, Batman. You want to see his kilt? There's his kilt. There you go. There you go.
All right.
So what we're going to do... Oh, now's the time we need one of them big ones. Point it towards him.
Look at that shit. Nice stack.
All right, so what we're...
It's always been a big waste of money to me. I'd go and watch. I've recorded a couple of big ones that people personally put on, but to me, it's always a waste of money.
Maybe that'll be a little bit better. Possibly. I don't know. We have another one.
Poker game. 4th of July poker game. Yeah, I mean, it's enjoyable, but have I spent a lot of money on them before? Yeah. And then when they're gone, you're like, fuck, that was a lot of money. But let the professionals do it. Although the last personal one I saw was actually it's on my doctor page. Yeah, this is from 2020, middle of the pandemic. I recorded this. This was real from 3 years ago. I recorded it. A buddy of mine did it. Well, it used to be a buddy of mine. We don't talk anymore. I agree, Anna. My flag's folded and in my garage. Drop it now. I dropped the link to this already. If you guys want to watch it, you can. I just remembered I had this on my personal channel. Let me bring it up. Yeah, poker game, man.
And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Go to work,
Yeah.
get married, have children, act normal, walk on the pavement, watch TV, obey the law, safe.
If they want to put one on my coffin, they're gonna have to fight my wife. I've already talked to her about it. Like I said, I want to be burned in a ship.
Your old age. Then repeat after me. I am free. Slavery. It works better when you don't tell them. It's all a mind game. William Casey, CIA director, will know when our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false.
All right, I know.
They don't
Already,
call
get
it
in the game.
television programming for nothing. What if all
I'll full screen it until the game starts. What's he got it set for? 17 minutes? All right.
what we call stupid equals asleep, what we call asleep is hypnotized, and what we call hypnotized is unconscious. We have been systematically put into a state of unconsciousness so that we cannot see what we are part of and what we are experiencing, though that is changing and changing fast. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. All the time, the subconscious, which we're not aware of, is dictating the behavior and responses of the conscious. And if you don't understand the unconscious, then the conscious will just be a pawn in the game. It doesn't understand. Go to work, get married, have children, act normal, walk on the pavement, watch TV, obey the law, save your old age, then repeat after me, I am free. And we keep having to say we're free, and in America they keep having to tell the people they're free every 5 minutes because they might otherwise suffer that they're not. Slavery was never abolished. It was only extended to include everyone. And yet people go so out of their way to convince themselves they're not in a state of slavery. First stage of disconnecting from slavery, realize you're in a state of slavery. Then you know what to disconnect from. Leonardo da Vinci. There are three classes of people: those who see when they are shown, those who do not see. And this system we call life is designed, again from cradle to grave, to make sure as many people do not see. And that's what I call the perception deception. These are three major CIA people. William Casey, CIA director, will know when our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false. The CIA owns everyone of any significance in the major media. William Coley, CIA director. Deception is a state of mind and the mind of the state. James Angleton, infamous CIA operative. It's all a mind game. They don't call it television programming for nothing. It tells you what to wear, what to eat, what to think, what to love, what to fear, who to ridicule, who to condemn. One of the saddest lessons of history is this. If we've been bamboozled long enough, we tend to reject any evidence of the bamboozle. We're no longer interested in finding out the truth. It's simply too painful to acknowledge, even to ourselves, that we've been taken. Once you give a charlatan power over you, you almost never get it back. Almost never. But we're fricking going to. But that's what it is. It's a bamboozle. It's a mind program. This is a cognitive dissonance. This is a definition of it. Sometimes people hold a core belief that is very strong. When they're presented with evidence that works against that belief, the new evidence cannot be accepted. It would create a feeling that is extremely uncomfortable called cognitive dissonance. And because it is so important to protect the core belief, they will rationalize, ignore, and even deny anything that doesn't fit in with the core belief. Mark Twain, it's easier to fool people than to convince them they have been fooled. Why? Because they don't, understandably, want to realize they've been fooled. But it's a wonderful thing to realize you've been fooled. It's a great gift, because from that point, you will not be fooled any longer.
The only flags hanging out front of my house are the Lions Not Sheep black flag with white lettering and my family crest flag.
It's a wonderful gift. This is another fundamental aspect of the bamboozle. It's called Stockholm Syndrome, a psychological phenomenon in which hostages express empathy and have positive feelings towards their captors, sometimes to the point of defending them. And this scene from the first Matrix movie captured the Stockholm Syndrome so perfectly. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged, and many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it. And this great man, Giordano Bruno, it is proof of a base and low mind for one to wish to think with the masses or the majority, merely because the majority is the majority. Truth does not change because it is or is not believed by a majority of the people. When you find yourself on the side of the majority, it's time to pause and reflect. Why? Because history shows us that invariably the majority are always following a cul-de-sac or a dead end. Mahatma Gandhi, many people, especially ignorant people, want to punish you for speaking the truth, for being correct, for being you. Never apologize for being correct or being years ahead of your time. If you're right and you know it, speak your mind, speak your mind. Even if you are in a minority of one, the truth is still the truth. Birds born in a cage think flying is an illness. What you've been brought up with is your normal, however bloody mad it may be.
Hey, buddy.
What we're looking at is what I call bubble people. Bubble people. They live in a bubble of perception and reject anything outside of that perception. Thus, they stay in the bubble. And so all these institutions are programming beliefs and perceptions in the bubble. And unless you break out of it, they're the only perceptions you ever come across. And that's what they say to you. Look, mate, I live in the real world, me. All right, I've got that real world. Go to work, get married, have children, act normal. I am free. That's the real world they're talking about. The real world of human slavery masquerading as freedom. You can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. Can you remember who you were before the world told you what you should be? Can any of us remember that? When we're born into a world and from day one, we're told who we are, what we should do, what reality is, what we should aspire to, what we should oppose, all of it. Just a program. If you sense more, there is more. Yes. It's people get stuck in the mode of thinking. And when we feel something, what does it feel? You could say, well, it feels right. It shouldn't, but it does. This is the true self. This is the program self. We have the power to change anything. We have got into this situation by realizing or not realizing the power we have, by not realizing the true nature of who we are. Now imagine you know all this in great detail, what power that gives you. Form is information. change the information, you change the form if you can get the original form to decode that information. In other words, you transmit it on the right frequency. So what we're doing is decoding information into this reality. This reality is a shared reality, but it's a decoded reality. And it's operating in our heads, decoding information. And how we decode it depends upon our perceptions of reality. So this matrix scene is absolutely spot on. This isn't real. What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, taste, and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain. Now, this is an example of how information is carried by everything and how we impact upon information as we interact with this virtual reality universe. Dr. Emoto, the great man from Japan, who I co-wrote a book with in Japanese some years ago, because what he did was he took water, put it into little containers, and he would apply to that water sounds or words, and then he would freeze it very quickly. I've been to his place in Tokyo where he did it, and then he would photograph the water crystals in that water, and the difference in the crystals corresponding with what the water came into contact with is absolutely fantastic.
Dogs are going
This
back outside.
water
Give me a
had
second.
love and thanks written on the side of it. Beautiful, geometrically beautiful, harmony, natural order. This had hate, I want to kill you on it. Look at it. And people say, well, how does that work when you put words on water and that happens? Simple. The words written are merely the holographic expression of waveform information. So those words are vibrating to a certain frequency. We see them holographically, but they're vibrating to a certain frequency. And that frequency impacts itself upon the water, and when you freeze it, photograph it, you see the impact. I'm speaking now. People think I'm speaking words. I'm not really speaking words. I am creating information fields with my vocal cords, and between me and you, there is no words. The words only come when you decode the information field that I'm sending out, and vice versa when you speak to me, when anyone speaks to anybody. It's all frequency. And so, love and appreciation. You make me sick, I want to kill you. Heavy metal music. This is why this can have a massively detrimental impact on people, because we are energy fields. Let's look at the auric field, it's photographable. This is polluted river water. Look at it. Because water in its base form is an waveform information field, like everything else. This is the impact that we're having on reality all the time while we think we are powerless. Pollution at its base waveform is just a distorted energetic information field, which distorts that which it comes into contact with, which manifests in the hologram as toxic water and toxic waste. Same with the stuff in sweets and bloody soda things that children eat on a massive scale. Of course, it's going to destabilize them mentally and emotionally because it's distorted information, which distorts the workings of the brain. Who creates the universe that we see? We do. And thus, if we change our perceptions, we can change what we decode into a reality, and we can change society. We're not going to do it by stockpiling weapons. We're not even going to do it by mass protests. We're going to be doing it by creating a different reality, by coming from a different perception of what reality is.
That's all right. All right. Well, I have this waiting too. 6 minutes. Ooh, we have 3 placers too. That made it in. Did you see this already, Anna? The 10th anniversary, Kill Tony.
The new Kill merch store is up and running at 1,000 miles an hour. It is our official Kill Tony online shop, killmerch.com. T-shirts, hoodies, Bonsai made real Texas leather joke books, Kill Tony hats, Kill Tony knit winter hats, beer koozies, bandanas, trucker hats.
Yeah, we got cut off on YouTube. And we're back. Be back. All right. Okay, we're back. Well, we're not going to play the rest of that, unfortunately. I had to literally close the tab, or they wouldn't. It was like I was like, all right, I was on a different tab. It stopped. But until I closed the tab, they wouldn't restart the stream. So they're straight up watching the stream. All right.
We argued that the only reason people admire bodybuilders who have built their body with muscle and not obese people who have built their body with eating huge amounts of food is because there's prejudice against fat people. And so bodybuilding could benefit from including the non-competitive display of fat bodies alongside muscular ones.
Wow. Yes, that's a real clip. No, it's not satire. And sure, yeah, let's put fat people on stage and worship them for not sacrificing anything and just showing how little self-control they have by shoving down high fructose corn syrup and seed oils down their gullet more than anyone else. Great idea. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name is Zukradowski here of wearechange.org. And there's just an absolute slurry of crazy news to get into today, as of course a lot of women are going absolutely crazy. This is, by the way, the main chief voting bloc for the Democratic political party that, of course, is empowered by single old white women that don't have any families. That's the reason the Biden administration is in charge and probably will be in charge for a very long time. Maybe we're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more. Lots of very troubling developments, especially unfolding in Ukraine. Lots of scary things to look out for. We're going to tell you exactly what in this video. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you can get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast was originally shared on TikTok from @Ultimate Motivation, and highlighting a real argument made in the United Kingdom on national television, pushing and trying to promote an unhealthy lifestyle as some kind of fat acceptance, promoting cardiovascular risk, heart disease, and the destruction of optimal health as something that should be cheered on and celebrated, and it shouldn't. If you're struggling with health issues, you shouldn't be promoted to have more health issues. But hey, we're living under a system that incentivizes this, since, of course, a lot of special interest groups profit off of people being unhealthy, depressed, sad, and weak, so they could be more easily conquerable, as, of course, we're being ruled more and more by autocrats who keep hiding more and more information away from the general public. This, as the Biden administration today, just as of a couple hours ago, decided to keep the remaining JFK assassination records sealed indefinitely, citing, once again, quote, national security issues. What kind of national security issues do we have 70 years from this particular event? What would we find out about that particular event that would endanger national security today? That's a question that I think a lot of people should be asking themselves, as, of course, there's a plethora of an extreme amount of circumstantial evidence highlighting that there was clear wrongdoing, lies, and cover-up by the government and establishment surrounding this entire incident, as there's a very high likelihood that it's probably the U.S. government and special interests that truly do control it, along with the intelligence agencies that took out the former president of the United States that was assassinated under very mysterious circumstances. Now, something strange is definitely going on here since Congress passed a law that promised to release all federal and government records surrounding this event in 1992. All records were promised to be released no later than 2017 of October. The former president of the United States, Mr. Trump, said he's going to be releasing these documents, and then he never released them himself. And now Joe Biden indefinitely sealed them, which absolutely shows you that something very...
Yeah, my limit's been about 220. My normals are around 190. And, I'm coming back down from 220. I've already lost about 5 pounds.
Very sinister is going on here that they're trying to keep away from the general public, as of course Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the nephew to JFK, who's running to be president of the United States, released this statement saying, quote, "It's not about conspiracy, it's about transparency. In a midnight Friday night announcement, the White House has delivered the bad news that President Biden will be maintaining secrecy indefinitely on some JFK assassination related records." Adding on later, what are they hiding? And stating that public trust in government is, quote, at an all-time low. And he's absolutely right. As of course, he also made very bold statements talking about how the deep state, the intelligence agencies in the United States, were responsible for the death of his father and his uncle, RFK and Bobby Kennedy Jr., who had their lives taken from them right before they were about to enact some major political change in the country. Now, what else is the intelligence agency empowered Biden administration doing? Well, they're also trying to block out the sun. Yes, you heard that correctly. The Biden administration is saying that it is open to plans that would block sunlight from hitting the surface of the earth, all in a way to make the weather gooder. Yes, you heard that correctly. This is originally, most importantly, a project that has been incentivized and started and financed by Bill Gates, and satirically highlighted in many commercials, TV shows, and movies where supervillains are literally doing the same thing. I don't think that's a coincidence, as a lot of Bill Gates' projects have been greenlit and promoted by the establishment, the Biden administration. Will they soon be trying to block out the sun? Well, with the way that things have been going, probably. As of course, Billy Boy usually gets his way, whether it's Donald Trump or Joe Biden in office. And one of the few people daring to call out that powerful individual is, of course, Joe Rogan and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. that are starting some really interesting conversations. As
it was a good interview with Ice Cube, too. I just listened to it last couple days ago when I cut the grass.
RFK Jr. just retweeted this video of Joe Rogan and Ice Cube talking about him, which I think is worth listening to.
Got a good president in there, turn it around.
Yeah.
You don't think
I don't put a lot on the president.
Not
I
this
don't put a
one.
lot on the president.
Well,
for sure.
I wonder what would happen if Robert Kennedy Jr. got in there. Very interested to see what happens with that guy.
Yeah, he seemed like a guy who at least is down to deep dive.
Yeah.
And talk real and really try to dissect what's really going on instead of just going with the herd, which would be easy for him to do, like go with the herd. By him going this route, it's like he's on a more noble route, and we just check him out and see how he navigates some of this stuff.
And it definitely has been a very interesting route for RFK Jr. that recently did take some very establishment positions when it came to addressing issues like welfare, affirmative action, and restricting Americans' ability to defend themselves and to have the proper tools in order to do that. Policies that, of course, deserved to be critiqued, as, of course, they don't serve any interest of the general public, just take away more rights and abilities and opportunities from them. And when criticizing it, I was met with people saying, no, he's just being a politician. And I think maybe that's the problem that's happening here, and why we're in such of a mess of a situation. Another reason why we're in such a mess of a situation is because of the larger fifth generational warfare that's being committed against the American people in subconscious subliminal propaganda, essentially pushing a larger depopulation agenda. As Joe Rogan even came out on that same show and decided to call Dylan Mulvaney, quote, an attention-seeking hua with clear mental health issues. And let's be honest here, especially in this day and age of social media, drama, attention-seeking, controversy, I think it's fair to say that individuals like Dylan Mulvaney have mastered this landscape, especially when it comes to everyone talking about them, as of course there has been a major backlash against the companies that have endorsed them, particularly Bud Light. That looks like it's doubling down and reeling at the same time from this endorsement. And as a society, I do believe we should have a larger conversation, especially when it comes to incentivizing, promoting, and talking about a lot of these individuals in the context that we do. And I will be talking about that later on today on LukeUnfiltered.com, where we are going to have a brand new spanking report available only for members right after this broadcast. But before even going there, we're going to continue the conversation surrounding Joe Rogan, especially with what he had to say about athletes and modern day sports, as I think it's fair to say that a lot of males have been absolutely chemically and biologically destroyed. And that's one reason out of many reasons why I just launched TakeTheChillPill.com, our own product that we have, that we produce, that we make, that we ship out to you when you get on TakeTheChillPill.com. As of course, we just created our own line of ashwagandha pills, and we're going to be, of course, working on health and wellness from here on out, since of course this is a large topic of what we're talking about. It's something that I personally take. Medical professionals warn that you should only take it for 3 months. And of course, by doing so, menopause, you name it, ashwagandha might be right for you. So TakeTheChillPill.com. Now, I think it's fair to say that a lot of people in Europe should also take the chill pill, especially in Ukraine and Russia, as there is a full-blown proxy war between the East and the West unfolding in that country that is absolutely horrendous and robbing a lot of innocent people of their life, liberty, and property. It's important to note here that this conflict is being deliberately prolonged here by a lot of Western powers, particularly the United States, that is investing and financing a lot of the military hardware and rebuilding efforts and contracts that will be going to BlackRock. I think it's fair to say that this is as much of as America's war as it is Ukraine's, as they have been making a lot of key strategic decisions here that have put us in this particular position where the Ukrainians are dealing with a very tough situation. Now, we're getting small tidbits on social media about the alleged successes of the Ukrainian military. And of course, the corporate media keeps telling us that they're winning and they're going to absolutely destroy the Russians. And we've been hearing that for a very long time. But I think it's fair to say that this is a major stalemate of a situation that right now is seeing the needless life sacrifice of a lot of Ukrainians that are going against very hardened positions by the Russians that have entrenched themselves in Ukrainian territory, where the Ukrainians are losing a significant amount of men and hardware trying to, of course, repel back, giving us a totally different narrative than what we're hearing on the corporate media that's saying that Ukraine is having huge, tremendous victories. And of course, it's important to look at all of this from all different perspectives, as of course, there's a lot of evidence suggesting that that is absolutely not the case. And the inverse of that is probably a lot more likely here, as a lot of scholars are even talking about the, quote, overwhelming artillery advantage by the Russians, air superiority, and the huge advantage that the Russians have by having a lot more people than the Ukrainians. A very interesting assessment that we're getting from all of this is that Russian-based artillery is allegedly way better than Western NATO-backed artillery, which truly is creating the biggest difference here when it comes to this larger proxy war. Now, allegedly, according to some military analysts, the Russians are just waiting until the Ukrainians throw everything they can at the Russian walls that they have built by entrenching themselves there. And after the Ukrainians exhaust their resources, it is then when the Russians will start to advance on more Ukrainian territory and then potentially gain more of a significant victory in this proxy war, which would end by Russia decimating all of the Ukrainian military and NATO American hardware that was sent into that region. And there's a lot of hardware and a lot of photos and videos showing it being destroyed, either by the Air Force of the Russians or mines that they have set up all around the region that have essentially prevented a larger counteroffensive from being successful in any kind of way. What are the Ukrainians doing now? Well, they're attacking Russia's capital, Moscow, with at least 5 new drone attacks, one of them going after a major Russian airport, which disrupted domestic flights in that region. But with the Ukrainians facing a major loss here and them resorting to desperate attacks inside of Moscow, especially in civilian areas, we do have to wonder what's going to be the next steps for the Ukrainians here, as other online media commentators like Kim.com are talking about a potential false flag that could happen here that could be engineered, specifically surrounding the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, which we're seeing some very interesting Western corporate media articles about. As of course, Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, that so far has called off elections in the country, is warning that there is a serious threat that the Russians are going to attack a nuclear power plant and create a nuclear disaster inside of that country. Zelensky even went as far as to talk about how Russian troops were moving vehicles that were filled with explosives onto the power plant, which was corrected by an individual that was even close to Zelensky himself. This is a news segment from France 24 that I think is worth looking at here when it comes to understanding what's happening here and the potential of a larger incident that could be made in a very desperate move by some very desperate people.
In Ukraine is saying, Vladimir Zelensky a few days ago said that according to his intelligence, Russia has made all the preparation for an attack on the plant, not an accident, an attack. His chief of military intelligence said that preparations are being done. Russian troops have moved vehicles charged with explosives into the plant. They've mined the cooling pond. You have a team on the ground. Is this what they're witnessing?
Well, I would never, enter into an argument with the president of
Yeah,
Ukraine,
all of them
who I
are.
know very well and with whom I've been in contact regularly and meeting with him personally. What I can say is I was there. I did not see
got them on their
this
best
kind
behavior
of
because they were all
development.
appreciative and
Our
having a good
teams are
time.
there and they are reporting every day
From all the
what's
states
happening. I'm not privy to this
ribs and everything else.
intelligence report
they're all
that you are
good.
referring to.
Jam them up with food. They
So
go.
you don't think that there will be a Russian attack on the plant? It's not what you're seeing.
What I'm saying is
I'm
that
hanging
we don't
in. I
see what
just
you just said.
some shitty
In
cards.
terms of the future, I wouldn't be so, adventurous into getting to, what is going to happen or not happen there. I think anything can happen. This is what worries me.
And in my opinion, especially when it comes to a nuclear power plant, especially when it comes to it being in Ukraine, especially with the
Whenever they
Russians
did
and
it,
Ukrainians being
I was
involved
streaming
here, I
on the way
think
back home.
anything and
They're
everything
gonna
is
get it.
possible
Chopper was
here,
like, "Oh,
but for
the
right
puppy must be
now,
in there
the
because I can hear him
situation
whining."
does not
He was
look
whining
good
because I was
for Ukrainians. How desperate will they get? Well, that's a question that, of course, is going to be answered in the next coming few days, weeks, and months as this conflict is going to continue to escalate and more innocent people continue to lose their lives. And for what? As of course,
All right,
there
let
were
me check those
multiple
pictures
times, there
out,
were
actually.
multiple
Yeah.
incidences where peace deals were done. They were met. They were agreed to. And then the United States came in and said, Suka hui blać
Ooh,
nie.
damn, those are
And
sweet,
now we
man.
have this continuation of this horrible situation that I think is leaving a lot of Ukrainians absolutely screwed.
One of them
And
twice.
that's tragic. That's sad. And
The other
that's
one I
just
do. I got the
stupid
one.
to
the
die
front.
for the political aspirations
the
of
one.
politicians that don't give a
Those are
damn
sweet.
about the people, the individuals, and the countries that they lay to waste for their own political gain. That to me is just absurd. And if you agree with that, share this video with your friends and family members.
nice.
I got way more to say that I'm going to be saying on LukeUnfiltered.com right after this video. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys.
Yeah, that C note, man. Whew, in the fitty. Looks like the most details on the one though. Well, no, let's see the back of it. That's amazing looking. And let me send them to somebody on Facebook Messenger, and I can pull it up on a tab.
You guys actively watching and sharing this video, and that's why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.
Sure, I'll share it on here. Yeah, I will. I don't know if I have contact. Oh yeah, I'll call that. You got a 10? You got me if you got a 10. So we're going to do this. Does he have a 10? No. Whack-a-mole. Oh.
First Amendment auditors, don't let them catch you slipping, or you'll be on YouTube forever.
All right, people, here we are. Concord, North Carolina. Out with HPR News, brand example reports, and we're fixing to go into United States Post Office, Concord, North Carolina. Hold on a second, I get the zip. 28025. Hell, I'm gonna walk around outside, man, first. Your lights on, HPR. You gonna walk around the outside? See there's vehicles and stuff. That is? Okay. What is it? Oh, see? I don't see any signs. You see any signs? What's that say? Customer parking on unauthorized vehicles will be ticketed.
Like. Subscribe. Share. Like and comment, don't forget to.
That big old satellite dish. I wonder if that thing's still in use.
Those are gold leaf.
They still got the old cars. Have y'all seen them new ones that they're supposed to be coming out with? The picture of them? How you doing? How y'all doing? Doing good.
Keep dropping my link in my chat, Anna. Here we go.
Welcome.
What is this with the light bar?
It's long.
Rural delivery.
I thought it might have been posted.
I wonder what the light bar is for.
You don't know, bud. Who are you?
What's our name? Are you subscribed?
Subscribe to somebody.
All right.
Who's left?
What?
Dirty
I got a
dog
question
stone.
right quick for somebody. That vehicle that just came by. Yeah, there's the light bar.
Like a caution, like a
Yeah, but I mean that's the first mail vehicle I've ever seen with a light bar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, there's several of them. Are they yellow lights? Yes, sir. They are. Just caution for us and everybody else around us. How are you guys
I
doing?
figured that's what it was, but I never saw a postal vehicle with a light bar.
Yes, sir. My husband ordered it off Amazon.
Oh, so
To keep it safe.
so okay, so they didn't furnish it for you.
Oh, no, sir. No, so
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
Husband wants to keep you safe.
absolutely. I hope so.
Yeah. All right.
That's pretty
Well,
cool.
you have a beautiful day. Y'all doing all right up there? This one's got a little light on it too, yeah.
Boss man said just go back, it's all good. Boss man said it's good. If it's in public, it can be filmed in public. No, this is text.
Yeah, good shit, Matt. GG.
Supervisor and supervisor. Some of them having a fit, huh?
Yeah, I know. You get recorded by me.
Yeah, I'm going in too.
Billy come out as the muscle, the postmaster.
Was he the postmaster?
Yeah, he was. Named Billy.
Yep, there's Old Glory. People. POWMIA flag.
It's good to see that they got that one up there. And sometimes I see where they don't have the POW.
Again, we're at United States Post Office, Concord, North Carolina, 28025.
Billy come out to be the muscle.
Is that what he said?
No, but he was just standing there, and then when she started doing that, he started doing that.
I know, he's telling him to go back.
He wanted his.
All right. Bubble boy time.
Good, thank you. Thanks for holding the door. We got it here. You have a wonderful day.
GG, friends and code.
Here's your PO boxes.
Boss of the hog. Good game, I tried to tell you.
It's all good.
I'm about to be the bubble boy. Yeah.
You see posters out there? Oh, there it is over there. Right there. Yeah. Well, that's a lot better. I did 18, I think.
Yeah, the new one's laid out a little bit different. Is it the same verbiage?
I knew he had me. I should have backed out.
So you're the postmaster? That poster 7 over there is outdated. What can we? Yeah, I think the latest one's 18.
It didn't change any. I'll print it out. I'll put it up there.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you.
Yep, done great. Appreciate it.
Whoa. Whoa, what happened? I gotta call this. Give me a 10. Give me a 10.
Ah, look.
GG.
Somebody called the popo. All right, you here for us?
Yes, sir. Somebody here at the post office.
Somebody what?
Somebody here that works at the post office called 911. That's why I'm here.
Why would they do that?
Well, I'll ask them. I don't know if it involves them wanting you guys to leave or not. I'm guessing it is. I don't know.
Barry, badge number?
We don't have badge numbers.
You got some sort of identifying number.
No, so my name's Officer Barry. I'm the only Barry at the Concord Police Department. So if you needed to get in touch with me,
You got a call number or something.
So the reason why I'm here is they called 911, which is why the police are responding.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah. So if you just give me a second to figure everything out, I'm sure hopefully I can get out of here. Okay?
I was leaving. What, am I detained?
No, so like I said, the business called me here.
We were just in there talking to the manager or postmaster for this area. And he had no problem with it.
Okay. Like I said, I didn't just roll up on you guys. They called.
I know. One of the workers back there called.
Okay.
Because I saw her on the phone. Because we were walking through back there.
I see. Okay.
Because we're doing the First Amendment.
Okay. Well, I appreciate what you guys do. I mean, if you guys are leaving, I think everything should be okay. I'm not hanging out. Well, let me make sure.
Well, I might walk back here now.
Well, let me make sure they don't want you guys to not be here, because at that point.
Well, they can't do that.
Well, they can. So,
No, they can't.
Well, they can if you let me explain.
Not legally. Okay.
I have to break the law first.
So,
but go ahead.
Okay, so if I decided to just hang out here, and the owner or an employee here asked me to leave, then I would have to at that point. That's the law, and then the police would be called, and you would have to.
Do you even have jurisdiction here?
Yes, sir. The city of Concord.
I thought it'd be the
No.
the postal police should have the district.
Do you?
Would you like these gentlemen to leave?
Yes, and I don't. Yeah, and I don't. And they have this.
Are you the manager?
It doesn't matter.
So,
You don't have that authority.
she does. So,
No, she doesn't.
Listen, in the state of North Carolina, it's anybody who works.
I don't
listen,
want to be on.
listen.
Well, then why'd you walk to the camera?
It's okay, Karen.
All right, you go. Listen, guys. Like my neighbor. Listen to me, guys. Gentlemen, it's as simple as this. You guys are doing a good thing. I'm proud of y'all. Appreciate what y'all do, keeping everybody in check. But at this point, the post office wants you guys off the property. So just
Are we doing anything wrong?
Outside of breaking the law, you can't trespass us from this public building where we do our public services.
Okay,
Outside
so
of breaking
like
the
I
law,
said,
no, you cut me off. You didn't want to be cut.
because you guys have to leave now. So an employee
That's
here.
the way it works.
It is.
I need to call the postal police. You probably know. The postal police. Y'all have contract with the post office?
Yeah. It's my laptop, so I apologize. I was the bubble boy. All right, hopefully everything's settled. Yeah, I used to be both firefighter and paramedic.
Here has asked me to tell them to leave.
Well, she doesn't have that authority.
She doesn't.
If she feels unsafe, then she has the authority to
Unsafe?
call the police.
Unsafe about what? We need some
I
rad.
myself, you can go ahead and record all you want because that's your legal right.
Right, Bill.
But as long as you don't interfere
We have
with the customers in the county.
We have not interfered with anybody.
Have we done any of that?
Told everybody we're not allowed to go ahead. We've been cordial. By the way, you left the CAD open.
You want them to leave, sir?
You guys done?
He just said we can
Yeah.
record all we want. It's
Yeah.
our right.
And
He
you go-
said he
you
does
can
all
record
right.
all
I
you
don't mind
want.
you guys recording,
No, I got-
but if he doesn't want you here, you
I have
can't
business.
leave.
Well, he didn't say that. He's the postmaster.
Sir, do you want them off the property?
Give me a second.
I have business. Still.
Are you familiar?
Now, I'm just asking, are you guys done recording in the building?
I still have business in there, and I'd like to, record my transactions, especially since we've had law enforcement.
You can record your transaction, but you cannot record the PIN pad.
Can't doing mine, but I don't want nobody to see my PIN number, so I wouldn't do that anyway.
All right, so we're good? You're gonna do a transaction?
Yeah.
Okay, you can go ahead and.
Business is also recording our buildings, but I'm going to buy stand one. But my
Are you
business can
familiar
actually
with
just be
the
recording
case law
in
in
and
the
of
building?
itself, sir.
Okay.
Are you gonna run away now?
That's a walk of shame, Barry.
Are you aware of the case law? I'm asking about case law.
That's a walk of shame, Barry.
You're-
Trying to violate our rights.
You're wrong about what you said, Barry.
There's no need.
Dijon Sharp v. Winterville Police Department.
Barry.
Thank you.
I know, but he needs to do it right.
What do you think you can put I'm trying to give him case law. State case law. Please talk to him case law. Dijon Sharp v. Winterville Police Department said it's a constitutional right.
Does this office have an agreement with Concord Police Department to enforce law here?
We can call them anytime we like, because the postal police takes a little bit longer to get here. So we do have to call.
I know, but
Concord
that
Police
wasn't my
or-
question. Is there an agreement?
A letter of agreement.
A letter of
If there's an
agreement?
agreement between that's higher up, then if we have to call the police, the local police, while the postal police gets here, then we can do that.
Okay, well, I'm just saying.
Leave it open, Gary.
It says on your poster 7, you're supposed to call postal police.
Yes.
Well, he's straight now.
Huh?
He's straight now. He's not a bit.
Yeah.
He didn't like it, dog. He still wanted to try to say, I think Barry
Barry is mistaken.
2 ladies left.
very much so.
All right, people.
So that lady thinks she can override the
brand example, and well, hey, I'm gonna walk around back again. Well, hell, let's go this way because we got to come back this way. So we're gonna take a victory lap now.
Letter of agreement.
And I hope she's back there.
When I went back in to get my stamp, she was still whining and crying off that way from another employee. Another employee's coming. I said, just go back there and keep talking with it and whining and go on. You know, she wants attention. That's what she does.
Yeah. I don't want to be on camera, but she walked all the way up here with 2, 4,
6, 7 cameras.
I hear him back here now.
Oh, you all right?
What the fuck happened?
I tripped over the fucking crack.
Oh shit, we missed the trip.
Yeah.
Here we go. He left it in the video. That's awesome.
Back here now.
Oh.
You all right? What happened, man? I tripped over the fucking crack. You all right? Yeah, hold on.
I did. Okay, again. Here it comes. Here it comes.
I hear him back here now.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, you all right? What happened, man? I tripped over
It's
the fucking
for
crack.
officer safety.
You all right? Yeah, hold on. You break your shit, dude?
Who leaves this on their shit? This is what is this who James Freeman was talking about earlier?
You all right?
No.
Y'all get that on camera?
Did y'all get that on camera?
I don't think I did though.
Darn it.
You want to go this way?
Whoopsie.
Yeah. You all right? Getting a little knee straight.
There you go, Fred. There's what happened when I fell down a while ago. Skin up my knee. Felt good.
This is awesome. And this is edited. So he could have cut that out. Save that for like a short.
Hello. Hey, how are you today? How are y'all? Who are y'all young men? We're just people that
Independent journalists.
You're journalists.
Independent journalists.
Okay. Investigative journalists. Oh, okay. Keeping our government accountable, and keeping our eye on where our tax dollars are going and how it's used.
He looks like he smoked some good shit.
Oh, we got one. Yeah, we got one. I'm gonna be on camera. Yeah, you're live. Okay, I like that. Right. All right. You have a great day.
Come on, Anna.
Yeah, I reckon. I mean, took a hit on the knee there. It
look like it shaved all the hair off the leg.
I lost all the hair on my leg. All the hair gone. I used to be hairy.
Well, maybe you quit thinking about your feet so much now that your knees.
Yeah, my knee is like.
Oh, there's that belt you were talking about.
Oh, that one's got one.
Yep. Oh yeah. And the wheel.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Jordan tax dollars, John. Yep. Yeah, have a great day, man. Right? You let that swing. I pay for my own paycheck. Yeah. So do the police, right? I mean, we all pay taxes.
You pay taxes with our taxes.
Go vote for Donald Trump again.
Do I?
He can go vote for Donald Trump again. I think he said go vote for him. Take the guns first, due process second.
I ain't voting for that motherfucker.
Well, there we go.
Yes,
I don't like
cap
none
is
of them. I
Charles.
don't vote for none of them. They're all the same. Democrat or Republican.
Yep, they're all
Republican. They're not.
wings of the same damn bird. Always vote for Rand Paul.
They're not. They're not
Rand
for
Paul.
us. None of them.
So you vote.
Welcome. This is Ethics Instead, and this video is directed at my fellow cop watchers, specifically those in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas, but really to any of them throughout the divided police states of America. How about that? I'm going to be talking some fluent legalese here, along with the first 10 amendments, known as the Bill of Rights. And just know that if you live in a different area, you're able to look at the words that are written down that are claiming to protect your quote-unquote rights and take similar perspectives from what I'm about to present. This is really directed at those cop watchers who approach the police using words like, hey, I have the right to this, I have the right to that, all I want is my Constitution, and I want to exercise my rights, and this, that, and the other. My question for you is, do rights actually exist? Or are they words that are part of a sales pitch to maintain an illusion that you have and enjoy, or should at least, some protections from armed men who are paid by the
I'm gonna
state
drop this link
to enforce its
I'm gonna
laws?
listen to this while driving.
Now, if I'm wrong, then I'm all open to that.
Happy Independence Day, everyone. Makes way too much sense. It only works on a plane, man. There's a small chance someone can fuck himself up with fireworks. I do see some fireworks here. There's a small chance of an injury. I'm not wishing on anyone, but there's a small chance we can catch a fire. Just saying.
What's up, Cancer?
Just saying. There's a chance. Small chance. There's a couple chances I'm gonna fly on a field these days, too. Snaps. It's going down, man. You see him? You guys see him? someone can freak out easily, drop it, and can be.
Actually, I'm tired. I'm cutting it. If y'all want to do another one, y'all are more than welcome to. But
Boss of the Hog.
I'm dead tired.
GG. Keith Anderson.
It's been a long day for
Sure.
me. Y'all, Doc, if you gonna run it, here, I'll set it up. I don't know. Y'all can set it up. I'm just dead ass tired.
Yes, it was. Thanks for hanging out, Dirty Dog. It's pretty good shit. I don't think Bob's going to be on long, but if he extends this too long, I'm going to bed. I got to be up in the morning. Well, not super early, but an acceptable time. Boss of the Hog won. He always wins.
Keith Anderson. Have a good night, Vic.
Yeah. Set it for 20 minutes.
People driving through the fireworks?
It's going. It's registered.
Oh, shit. I clicked it over to friends.
It's going down, man.
Right there, they're throwing the fireworks.
Yeah, that shit is just like paper from from fireworks. That's, I mean, you can mow that right in, or yeah, mulch it right in.
The Chinese fireworks manufacturer.
Speaking of that, one of my German choppers decided he wants to dig up every mole in my yard, so I have some trenches in my yard. What's a good idea for a fill? It's economical.
It's a huge party right now. It's a huge party right now. Yeah.
Yeah, but when I turn it to the left, my shit goes down. Yeah? I don't want it to go that way no more.
You already know that, my baby.
Yeah, right now I've been turning it. Like,
Oink, 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 piggy, piggy, oink, 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 I'm a pig.
yeah. No, no, los de que right there they're gonna be good. They're fucking getting cold as fuck.
Pero la Lía y Jesús aquí es contigo, güey.
Yeah.
No.
No, baby, not yet. In a bit.
No, there's a little bit.
In a bit.
You guys don't do the little box. Yeah.
Dog's birthday, yeah. The dog. Yo! Thank you, man.
Here's another funny clip. 15 minutes. Your thoughts?
Charlie, what are you doing with the dirt? You just threw it all over yourself. Fall down, Charlie. Yeah, I fell down.
Yeah, I fell down. All right. If it's true, right, Mr. D, right? And the moon has less gravity, that's why they can bounce around like that, right? Why did the dirt shoot off like that? Why didn't it just float away because there's less gravity? Did you see that? Did you see how the dirt reacted here?
I was strolling on the moon one day.
Did you see it just
shot
flash
way
out
up
like
there.
that? Would it just like slowly float up?
Derek, you just threw it all over yourself. Fall down, Charlie. Yeah, I fell down. Sorry. Dust everywhere, John. But that's what they say, all right?
What are they wearing, man?
Clean off the I'm going to clean off the camera. Wait a second. Let me set this down. I just tried to blow off the dust, Tony. And it started at frame count number 4. Okay, Bravo 4. And you count how many times you blow off the
I
dust.
just tried to blow off the dust. What, man? You just try to blow off the dust?
With the
What?
exhaust of his suit.
How's that possible, man?
You just said it, with the exhaust of his suit. Oh my
What's
god, this
happening?
conspiracy, pal.
You just try to blow off the dust? The fuck, man?
Yes, Yuri was first.
Pero súbele a la Rufina.
Yo, that chick's gonna shoot someone with her fireworks, man. We're getting rowdy. These Tecate drinking Mexicans are getting rowdy.
Esto es lo que pide el cuerpo, mujeres cervezas.
Magic dust. Hell yeah. Holy shit. You guys having a block party, man. Who's there? Someone gonna lose now? You think so? There's a chance, man. That's why we're watching, man. We're not watching for the fireworks. We're watching for the chance that this fucked up shit happens.
Vámonos, Rita. What up, Bullfrogging? Happy 4th of July, guys. ¿Y quién me lo quitará? Yo decía.
Right back.
What happened, man? What happened? The fuck?
I need the shells. Fuck my Excalibur.
Why did it get all blurry on it? Better quality, man. We're at 1080. You think so, Tom Space? I don't think there's gonna be any drive-by, man. These guys seem like they're pretty cool. Everything's chill.
I have some health issues, Gabriel, so but I'm trying to be back.
This guy's at the jail waiting for the green hat
Isla
audit
was
guy.
some ice.
We got content, man. Finally,
So
man.
yeah. Steve Mayo. Appreciate it.
Finally, man. Someone's out at the county jail, man.
But I'm here, guys.
Hell yeah.
A lot of fireworks right now, though. Ramirez, what's up? So we are here at the county jail, guys. Thank you, entrepreneur queen. Warzone. Any updates? No updates. Entrepreneur queen. Apparently, and what else here with what's her name is here as well? Enamorado and Amy Gonzalez here. Papi, what's going on? Gabriel.
This is Ukraine?
Thank you very much, Gabriel Ramirez. Appreciate it.
California.
Gracias. Yep, hit the like, guys, to get more people.
Orange
I'm
County.
here at the Orange County facility, actually, waiting for from Ryan doing audit, guys.
No, I mean you.
That's actually the intake, and that's where also the
Don't give a fuck
outtake
about
when they come out through here. Appreciate everybody being here, guys.
All right, I'm sorry. What's this shit?
Everybody shooting off fireworks, man. It's America's
Sure,
birthday,
thank you,
man.
Entrepreneur Queen.
You guys ready for a song, man? Since it's America's birthday, man. Welcome into the news now, Preston, Nashville. You guys ready for a song since it's America's birthday, man?
High class gangsters. They treat you like an animal, then take it as a joke. Brainwashed to be killers with a license. High class gangsters, goons in suits. Brainwashed to be killers with a license. High class gangsters, goons in suits. Brainwashed to be killers with a license. High class gangsters, goons. Brainwashed to be killers. High class gangsters, goons. Brainwashed to be killers. Oops, be like you did it again. They get him mad because you be recording them. Oops.
Why is he wearing that, man?
Oh, he's played this
Why is he
before.
wearing that? Why is he wearing that, man?
Let me see.
Where did he get that outfit from, man? Get this
Don't let
outfit.
this outdoorsy
Yo,
athletic
man.
exterior fool you. I feel rotten.
Oh man, your video got age restricted, man. Oh man, why did it do that, man?
Why is this taking forever to catch up? Okay.
Why did age restrict that, man?
Yeah.
He got scammed, man. Why is it even why is it playing the non-video, man? Why is it just? So it's just gonna play 50 seconds of nothing, man? It's only available on YouTube, man. We can't even watch it, man. This is. What is even?
The Gooks are shooting off fireworks to celebrate.
Hold on. Streamlabs that actually scams you, not YouTube, man. Why is he wearing that, man?
Did it again. Get on the microphone and just own them. Officer.
It all depends on what you think the shit is, Matt. Some scary situations, yes. Yeah, shit's fucked. My dad was.
Ryan! Free Ryan! Yeah, guys. Orange County.
They were up there watching
Why
the
did he do
fireworks.
that?
I am. Hey there. Oh yeah, she feels.
Yeah, nobody's trying to get in on this.
Yeah, I got to go see Platoon with my dad at the theater. Just me and him. It was awesome. He was a corpsman in Vietnam.
All right. So they went up to the second floor, guys.
No, all the way at the top.
To the top. And there was two cops watching the fireworks, hanging around there, hugging hands, right?
They won the battles. They just didn't win the war, buddy. Politicians have taken over wars. That's just the way it is now. Until there's the next revolution.
Here in Santa Ana, guys. Santa Ana. I got a lot.
Anybody in Santa
Ana? What's up, Carlos Tacos?
Congratulations on showing your video.
Yeah, tell him what's up. Tell him what's up, Amy. Carlos Tacos. All right, say hi to Carlos Tacos.
What?
Carlos Tacos.
What?
Guys beefing on me.
All right, guys.
Especially them sleeves.
Excalibur,
You like that?
Excalibur, what's up, Excalibur?
Yeah, he's in the house.
Is anybody going to Lancaster tomorrow? We're meeting up at 5 o'clock in Lancaster.
Where do you find all this stuff? I'm like the internet.
So
troll,
if you
man.
guys going to go to Lancaster tomorrow, guys, unfortunately I'll not be able to be there with you guys because I have to other family events.
Behind the keyboard.
So Gabriel Ramirez.
You mean this right here?
Eddie.
Problem on the mic, I know. I got y'all niggas worried. Fuck the badge, fuck the uniform, and fuck the gun too. Fuck the position you're in, and fuck the one you aim to. I'm so angry watching the corruption that I wanna fight you. Out of 90 people, 91 of them don't fucking like you. Oops, Eli, you did it again. They get him mad because you be recording
Nice,
them.
what's up? He knows me. Eddie, Gabriel Ramirez said, what's up?
They get him mad because you be recording.
That's horrible. Peace. I hope you call the cops on the police officer impersonator. We're just gonna eat something to eat real quick. I'm actually kind of hungry. My kids have been eating a lot of microwavable food lately. And air fryer food.
I'm a bit older than you, though, Matt. Deployed to where? Vietnam?
Okay. Just hold on one moment, please.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, thank you. Can I get
Is
a
it winter
Texas
schnitzel?
barbecue dog
We don't have them around mine.
with the pretzel bun? And then a kraut dog?
All beef brown dog?
What was that?
Do you want to make it all beef brown dog?
No.
She sounds Asian.
Just regular side, okay?
Yeah. And then can I get a I guess a Fanta float? I'll try that. I do believe that those are my back brakes now, but the front ones were full of sand. I'm so sorry, Dolphin. I hope you feel better. What? Thank you so much, Marie. Are you thirsty or what? Here. You need a soda? You don't want a water? You want what? Oh, you're hungry. You
What was
how
racist?
about a hot corn dog? Is that okay?
What was racist? Sounds Asian. You know what Asian sounds like. I hope you do.
High-class gangsters, goons in suits, brainwashed super killers with a license. High-class gangsters, goons, brainwashed super killers.
Why'd you wear that outfit? Why'd you wear that outfit, man? That's sus, man. Who has an outfit like that laying around?
I'll add a corn dog for her.
Get that bitch a corn dog.
Can you add a corn dog to that? Yep. Yes, it is out, Mad Dog. Power lines are down in the area. Power lines are down in the area, Mad Dog. What's up, J Doe?
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Let's transport ourselves into the mind of your typical leftist. When people agree with us, it's because we're convincing and our political strategies are working. But once our voting groups start to turn against us, well then it's some evil, racist, Republican conspiracy, mind control plot, weaponized propaganda targeting this political group. I mean, holy moly, the copium is just out of this world crazy. We got to take a look at this small little segment with Jen Psaki at MSNBC. Let's keep the intro brief. Don't really need too much context. Let's just take a look and then have a conversation. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so let's delve into today's leftist delusions. Here is Inside with Jen Psaki at MSNBC.
So lately I've been noticing the reemergence of a very old GOP playbook that harkens back to President Richard Nixon's infamous Southern strategy. During his campaign for president in 1968, the Republican Party made a concerted effort to reach white Southerners who used to vote for Democrats by playing to their fears of African Americans and the civil rights movement. And it worked. By pitting one group of Americans against another, the GOP successfully managed to split off Southern whites from the Democratic Party. Now, decades later, the right wing is reviving that same playbook, this time with Muslim Americans and trans people. Hear me out here. The GOP is trying to recruit Muslim Americans, a community that makes up less than 2% of the US population, against another tiny marginalized group of Americans, transgender people. It's important to remember that back in 2011, during the Republican primary, the right wing had designated Muslim Americans as public enemy #1. No surprise, given that conspiracy theorists, remember the birthers? I do, had been trying for years to portray President Obama as a Trojan horse for Sharia law. Republican after Republican candidate ginned up fear about the fabricated threat posed by an Islamic legal doctrine debated by scholars for centuries. To them, the imaginary prospect of Sharia law in this country was scarier than gun violence, climate change, and more important to discuss than, say, millions of people who didn't have health care.
I do not believe in Sharia law in American courts. I believe in American laws in American courts.
If we think that there is an undermining now, just wait. If Sharia is adopted or utilized by justices in the United States.
Accepting Sharia in the United States would be the end of our civilization as we know it. No jurisdiction will tolerate having Sharia imposed in the United States of America.
The end of our civilization as we know it, he says. Of course, there was no chance Sharia law was going to be implemented in the United States. Now, Trump's origin story is the birther movement is a part of that. But all of this also set the stage for him to make this declaration as a candidate in 2015.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
Now, fast forward 8 years, and the right wing has
Way out of
focused their
context, though,
fear-mongering
there.
on trans people. And who better to go after the new enemy than the old enemy?
We're noticing a reemergence of an old ploy straight from the GOP playbook, only this time the party has a new target. Yep, you heard it right, folks. Apparently, the new leftist conspiracy theory is that Republicans are targeting Muslims to brainwash them about what's going on in schools. It's an evil ploy that we've seen before. What is this woman even talking about? I mean, what the hell am I listening to? The new Republican strategy is targeting less than 2% of the population, brainwashing them, hoping for a real voter payout on trans issues. I mean, this is next level copium. I'm not here to dispute the fact that
Top 1%, yeah, they got a plan. Some call them the elite, some call them the man with a system in place just to keep us asleep. A system in place to keep us like sheep. They prepping us for the slaughter, for all our mothers and daughters. You know what this thing calls for? Calls for a new world order. Young, Nova Cash, new world order, new world order, new world order. You know it's only right that I bless the track. Stay hot like space, no space. They say it's no basis, no case. What you know about that? You live by.
is exactly what Democrats do. In fact, it's what Democrats do every single freaking day when it comes to the LGBTQ community. The rhetoric that we see is a trans genocide. Republicans are coming.
I am the sickest in the game, another flow, I'm not the same. They call me Eli, and I don't care about the fame. I know you need shade when I stand in front of you. I know you need shade when I stand in front of you. Rolling up on the border, looking for law and order. Why don't you see the corruption is more blood in the water? A lot of hate going in our own town. Politicians giving us the runaround, and I'ma keep on moving forward. And ain't no looking back. I'm standing on my ground. I know it's getting bad. Dealing with the virus of tyranny. Old world, new world. Tell me, time we make a change. Old world order, same old raggedy wisdom. Time we make a change. Old world order, lame ass policy system. Time we make a change. New world order, same old raggedy wisdom. Time we make a change. Old world order, lame ass policy system.
The slushy cameo? The slushy. The slushy cameo? The slushy. The slushy cameo was lit, man. She was getting it.
Do is righteous, ethical, and compassionate. It's a ridiculous double standard. It's part of the whole propaganda tactic, the constant gaslighting, politics, and conservative people. But in the end, what it clearly is, to anybody who's really paying attention, to anybody who can actually see what it really is projection. Clear as day, absolute projection. And the logic is just so ridiculous. Yes, Republicans are simply fear-mongering on this issue because they're trying to get the Muslim vote. Less than 2% of the population and little to no effect on the Electoral College outside of very specific districts in major Democratic strongholds. Okay, you got it, Jen Psaki. You're truly a genius political mind, an incredible political strategist. Who even watches this stuff? Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. You know that we'd love to have you here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
That was cool. Yeah, imagine.
A rich motherfucker to go with you and catch.
Oh, okay.
Fuck it. Fuck it. Let's go all in. I want him to be.
Oh, I do have it.
This.
This is what the original video looks like, man. This is a treat for y'all right here, man.
Oh, this was badass. Here we go.
Hold on, let me hold on real quick.
Should upload his chat too.
You guys who wants to see the original Choner Boner video, man? You guys didn't know mine was the edit, man. Here's the original version right here, man. Expect a way better music video soon, by the way. This message didn't age too well. This message didn't age too well. What did it say? We will have Grindo in and will be recorded way better. Sorry, love Chone.
Beamer. Beamer.
I remember watching this.
Beamer.
I remember watching this with him.
Beamer. Lil Chon, yeah. Bitch, I'm riding in the fucking Beamer. Got your girl sucking on my fat ass. Bitch, I'm riding in the fucking Beamer. About to smoke a clip and I'll fuck your bitch with my wiener, yeah. Beamer, yeah. Choner boner, got a big ass boner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Choner. Boner. Beamer, yeah. Beamer.
You do not own anything. This is all my bitch, I'm paying. Rings upon rings. Tell your bitch, quit with your thing. This is she just wanna play. That's what I thought. That's enough that we got. I can only make you drop, so this shit never stop. It chuck me up like a mob. Then we go right up your block. Ay. I did it. Little chunk, yeah, we with it. Counting checks, yeah, we got it. 10 bands, and we split it.
Yo, man, get it, man.
I did it. Little chunk, yeah, we with it. Counting checks, yeah, we got it. 10 bands, and we split it. I did it. Little chunk, yeah, we with it. Counting checks, yeah, we got it. 10 bands, and we.
Y'all didn't know my version was produced, did y'all?
So
that was the original.
That was
version.
his. I mean, tell him to copy the link.
Oops. Okay, there's the flyer, guys. A little bit upper.
Wait, hold on.
Okay. Well, you can send it to.
Interesting eyes besides that.
All right, guys, that's the flyer.
Where are you going?
So Unit Against Police Brutality, Lancaster. That's the flyer, guys. Winco Foods, 7040 West Avenue King.
I hope y'all enjoy that, man.
K4.
K4, guys.
They have weird ass. They have H1, H2, H3 street names.
Yeah, that's street name, guys.
Lancaster is weird.
Yeah, they tried to do like Florida, wasn't it?
Archives?
Florida, something like that.
You already know, man.
Avenue West, whatever it is.
Remember when I pulled it because I knew of his ongoing
Tomorrow,
issues or his legal problems? I was like, man, I better pull these 2 videos before they're gone.
Time 5 o'clock, guys.
The other one is bitch, I'm fucking lit.
No, it doesn't go straight to it.
We don't play that one too much.
Thank you, Sonia.
That's the
There
link
you
to
go.
the flyer.
That's the link to the flyer, guys. I hope you enjoy your burger. They said.
I did. It was a junior bacon cheeseburger.
It was a junior bacon cheese, double bacon, junior chili.
Sierra.
ECC copy on scene of Dina. 201.
Doesn't out to the Big Bear, and Copper Hills, search fire.
And today is the day. Get your popcorn ready, get seated, because I'm going to go over all of this. And the reason why I'm doing this, the reason why I'm bringing this up now, the reason why we're talking about this has to do with my appearance on Tim Pool's Culture War with Emma Vigeland, because Emma Vigeland decided that it was appropriate to label Tim Pool as the inspiration for the Hispanic neo-Nazi shooter down in Texas based on just 4 screenshots that were displayed. I'm not going to let that pass. I'm not going to let that slide. And that's why it was brought up by me on that episode of Culture War. And I completely violated Emma Vigeland on that point.
What's up, crazy? What's up, Bang? Right? Everybody knows it's VP. This motherfucker said you need to get back over there by that tree. Man, fuck you. Going over there by that tree. Kiss my ass. What's up, Oklahoma? Hey, there's a supervisor. Hey, Verma. Can I talk to you in a second?
Not right now, man. I'm getting this figured out.
I just needed to make a complaint.
Just tell him not to be a pussy and get over there. I understand why you want to keep your distance sometimes. Well, I noticed it. I was just like, okay, cool. That's how I feel about that.
Hey. I know, I'm just saying, like...
So there's 2. So there's that one, which is the new 25-foot rule, which is get back 25 feet. But there is still an incident emergency area on the books. And so I don't know why they added the second one. But we have the discretion to go either get back 25 or get back 150.
I thought state law trumps that, though.
No, not in that way. So that essentially now that means that we have...
You just salute that person? Oh my God, that was...
For the record, though, can I get your name and badge number?
Yeah, Officer Brown, 458.
458? All right. Thank you.
This JV's live, too.
To see that 25-foot wall, it'll give you something to challenge them. See what I'm saying? Like... Hey, every
Everything he's saying though is just giving me more fuel. Yep, Officer Brown, 458. They found a gun right over there. Or we'll say it.
Sorry if we messed up the shot.
Oh no, you're good, man. Something involving a gun, because I know they just found one over there by that propane thing. So, like,
Right. You know what? It's just interesting. I don't normally see that.
Absolutely, Anna.
You know.
You live down the street.
Who?
You.
Oh yeah, I live down the street. So. Here.
yeah, somebody may have threatened somebody with a
Sit
gun.
out.
I know
That's
that.
a pee.
Crime tape up for that.
Yeah, because they found shell casings out back. I think they already took her, but there was a girl they like drugged from the front over to squad car and shoved her in the back.
The kind
So
of stuff that would happen.
this is VP on 14th,
I didn't
man.
see anything in the group, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing better to do on the 4th, right?
All right.
Listen, on the Lafayette news page, this is the place they featured, like they're the chronicles of whatever cross section, Salem.
Oh,
The Salem
damn it,
VP.
Lafayette Uncensored.
Yeah.
Yeah. That page is funny.
Whoever is running that group is a mastermind.
See, now they got the tape up. He don't give two shits. He just wanted to be a tough ass, sit in front of the camera. That's what he wanted to do.
They come up here.
Yeah, they tried telling me how to go across the street and all that shit. Even though, well, not just that, the state law changed on the 1st, which means they can't push me more than 25 feet back. It used to be 150 feet.
Oh, so they put this tape up just to.
Aren't you also allowed to subpoena a body cam now?
Yep. Yep.
That's nice.
You could request body cam.
That's
and they have to give it to you.
Well,
that's why I wanted his.
No, they have to. But no.
That's why I wanted to get his name and his badge number, so that I can get his body cam, and I can go over to the police department tomorrow and make a complaint. He's in that one. So looks like 1712. It's Officer Brown, 458.
My memory's not good enough.
Well, you've got the little video going, so he's got.
Yeah, is that just live?
Yeah, it's live on YouTube.
Nice.
That and the sergeant, I already know him, Sergeant Verma, so I told him I need to make a complaint when he got done.
Do you do this usually in Lafayette? You go around and film them?
Mhm.
Or nice. Okay.
Oh, what's your favorite?
Yeah, I would.
Big man audits.
Big man audits.
Hence, I'm a big guy.
What?
I said I'm a big
Me.
guy.
I feel like I've seen you somewhere. Not you, but I've seen your audit somewhere.
Oh, they got the detective out here. The detectives.
He became friends with one of the unmarked classmates on the bridge. He's like, "Can I get?" He goes up and he's like, "Can I get a picture with you with your lights on?"
This is it, just the big man audits.
Yep.
Oh.
Looks like this might have been a robbery. And they got the detectives out here. Which I don't know why you would try to rob this place. It's got fucking
Cameras
bullet resistant.
everywhere, and inside it has so
there's-
many cameras.
there's usually cops sitting
Yeah,
like
right there.
Yeah.
They sit right there all the time.
And it doesn't matter like what time of night. I've left it.
Charlie, this is on Salem and 14th Street.
14. Yeah, 14 insane.
This is the P.
The Chronicles of Lafayette.
I've never seen this many of them in one spot.
I have. There was that one girl who got murdered up there in the Walmart parking lot on 26.
Oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
working at the hotel, and I was
Yeah.
like just leaving for work, and they were cutting it up.
Yeah, that parking lot was littered with cops. I mean, like
Shit, I forgot my
They
beer.
wouldn't
Where
allow
is
us
it?
to leave work. They yelled out the window, "Get back inside."
this is fun. Smash that like button, everybody. This area is lit, dude. Almost all the time.
Well, you got the homeless shelter right over there.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's cleaned up though, man. I used to come down here all the time, and it was nothing to see somebody strung out on heroin, just like passed out in the parking lot.
Right, like I got pulled over on Salem, and they're like, "You got to slow it down. I know it's 2 lanes, but you got people just walking out, and they would walk out like
Roll by.
into the
I wouldn't get
street."
nothing going on.
Oh, they do, man. Like they're so fucking
Dad's
doped
isn't
up.
doing
It's
anything.
unreal.
See, aren't you glad people? No. I get to, let me tell my boss. Listen, you gotta
I
understand.
think it might have been a robbery.
It'll be. Yeah, I love that they're coming out. And they're like cheering. Yes, get up.
Joe Miller, welcome.
You said you live right down the road.
Yeah, I live on 14.
It's Tweakerville down here.
It's not bad.
Not anymore.
A little bit. I moved in a year ago, and it's not. I've never had any issues at my house. So
Down there on 14th and damn it, like around like 14th and Morton and 14th and I think it starts with an H. Right down that way. They're always down there. People fighting in the middle of the road. Like, happy 4th to you guys too.
How did you get to know each other?
I met her in the street. She was mine for the price of a drink.
Wow.
As this last one concerns age and frailty and changing nature of life, it was especially compelling to me because I am of that age.
When do you think Phoebe has made you laugh the most on set?
Okay, one last thing. There are 3 indispensable people without whom none of us would be here tonight, and that starts with George Lucas. The person who is Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford. And the person who's is the glue to all 5 of these films that gave us all of our rhythm and all of our melody, the great maestro, John Williams.
Gotcha. Nerderotic.com.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dementia is the first film to be released by Lucasfilm in the theaters since the rise of Palpatine. That was 1,290 days ago. And now that I've seen it, I'm only left with one question, which just so happens to be the same question I asked when this was announced. Why? Time.
Thank you, and Joe Miller.
And I haven't
Joe
released
Miller
it.
again.
Is that now?
Haven't done nothing.
I appreciate CTS, man. I appreciate CTS from the earlier crew, too. Thank you. It's been a good long day. I logged 4.5 hours, and I just logged 2.5 hours for a total of 7 hours.
I hated to.
I mean, I should go to Kick, but I think the audience is here on YouTube, yeah? I mean, all I'm going to be doing is just redirecting the YouTube audience, right? Or is there an audience on Kick? Is there a Kick audience to cultivate, man?
Oh, it is. What's that?
Is there some cash to be made on Kick, man? I mean, I might as well if I'm not making any money here. I made okay money today. I did okay.
There you go, guys.
You know, I'm not even close. I'm not even
It's hard,
I'm
If you're thinking of life and dimension, the frequencies, think of what you're gonna be.
not
Okay,
even
yeah.
supposed to be live
Okay,
right
there
now.
we go. Yeah. So you say that you're smart and you agree with other fucking things like all. Okay. So you say what you say. Okay. So
I'm falling off
We
gravity.
are
Here.
anticipating,
So you say
guys.
that you agree.
Right.
Sorry guys, I gotta. It's hard, bro.
It's a creative
It's hard,
process,
bro.
man.
It's a creative process.
It's a creative
Y'all are-
process.
I'm not even supposed to be filming this shit.
I'm not, man.
Hey, grew up in the time that I didn't wanna be a part. Yeah, it's a part of.
Just a thanks for the effort.
Thank you. Grew up in a place that I didn't wanna be a part of. Yeah, I didn't wanna see a slaughter. I didn't ask nobody to be inside of my car. The wheel wasn't in my hands, I was in the back, and damn, I didn't know if I was living, dying, and I am the crown. Position the people that they want, I am the bliss. My mama said that I was a pain in the yes and listens. They never been taught to someone who ain't wanna learn. I am not the motherfucking national.
An official television report to the nation from the United States Army. Now, to show you part of the big picture, here is Sergeant Stuart Queen.
The film you are about to see was produced as a troop information film, specially prepared to alert the American soldier against a hidden enemy, an enemy that can destroy morale, rob the soldier of the will to fight, and even trick him into surrendering. Enemy propaganda. Although this study of communist deception was made for a military audience, we think that you, the American public, will also find it pertinent and enlightening.
In the words of an American hero, Patrick Henry, the gentleman cried peace, peace, but there is no peace. And today America cries peace, peace. To further the blessings of peace, to ensure peace, America today sends to every nation in her imperialist orbit the implements of peace, ammunition, rifles, bayonets, hand grenades, machine guns, bombing planes, fighter planes, and now even atomic cannon. The gentlemen from America may call that peace, but I have another word for it. I call it war. I call it America's master plan to enslave the world. Let no one be deceived by the American-style peace.
Let no one be deceived. That's what the man said. I don't think you need three guesses to know what this is all about. But let's listen a moment longer and see what's behind it.
Peace is a word that sends cold shivers down.
Time is valuable, and so is money, but you can only get one of the two previously mentioned back. But I'd like to save you both. I've wasted 2.5 hours of my life, so you don't have to waste 2.5 hours of yours. If you love Indiana Jones films, don't see Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I went to the dentist this morning, and it was more enjoyable than this film. Our expectations were not subverted. Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm once again desecrated a beloved character, one that they just haven't gotten around to yet. And yes, Indiana Jones was sacrificed on the altar of agenda to bolster another brunette British woman. And once again, Harrison Ford is involved, but at least Han Solo was put out of his misery. This one wanted Indy to suffer as much as the audience. Well, let's not bury the lead here. The reason this movie was insufferable was thanks to feminist Hollywood darling and enemy of franchises, Phoebe Waller-Bridge. And it turns out every post-Cannes Film Festival Reddit leak was absolutely true. Indiana Jones Begins and ends this film as sad and broken as Hollywood is. And the queen of franchise destruction, Kathleen Kennedy, who is also the worst studio head in Hollywood of all time, has destroyed every last vestige of George Lucas's legacy, with the added bonus this time of being able to stick it to her old boss, Steven Spielberg.
I remember Kathy came into the room with her steno pad and her pencil, and she was horrible at taking notes, and she was terrible at, she didn't really know how to do it very well. But what she did know how to do was interrupt somebody in mid-sentence. We'd be pitching ideas back and forth, and Kathy, who's supposed to be writing these ideas down, suddenly put her pencil down and would say something like, and what if he didn't get the girl, but instead he got the dog?
So join me, you over 780,000 awakening wonders and the 40% who haven't subscribed yet. Let's go over, quite frankly, the last thing Lucasfilm has to ruin. Indiana Jones and the Disaster of Destiny. George Lucas and Steven Spielberg are gone, but Kathleen Kennedy, John Williams, and
You guys ever watch Nerdrotic?
80-year-old Harrison Ford, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and James Mangold are here to create what might be the worst crime against imagination, a boring Indiana Jones film, which is far worse than the Crystal Skull, that may flop, with the added bonus of getting very close to becoming an on-brand Disney Lucasfilm bait and switch. Scratch that. It is an on-brand Disney Lucasfilm bait and switch. The entire story runs through Phoebe Waller-Bridge's insanely annoying Helena Shaw. And unlike the erroneous theory out there that if you remove Indiana Jones from Raiders of the Lost Ark, the outcome of the film will remain the same, after watching Indiana Jones and the Diarrhea of Destiny, this film is quite literally pointless in more ways than one, and we'll get to that. But before I get into breaking down another one of our heroes being broken down, I think I'd be remiss not to point out that a group of people thought it was the good idea to give Kathleen Kennedy, the woman who destroyed Star Wars, $300 million to destroy Indiana Jones. Yeah, take a long, slow look at these window-licking morons, including Chief Moron, who has returned to lord over the disasters that he created, Bobby Iger. And no, not even director James Mangold, who's made some very good films in the past, could save this from being another Disney Lucasfilm abomination. And while I would call the first 20 minutes of this film tolerable, mainly because they don't have Phoebe Waller-Bridge, it does have a de-aged Mads Mikkelsen, who they managed to make look worse than the de-aged Harrison Ford, who ended up looking like a 40-year-old who talks and walks like an 80-year-old. This 20-minute scene goes on and on as a really bad Spielberg impression, and it suffers from the same problem Crystal Skull did, an over-reliance on CGI. Mix in some over-excessive shaking of the camera and scenes too dark to see, and you have a modern Disney film. This flashback scene takes place towards the end of World War II, where the Nazis are fleeing with artifacts that turn out to be fake, including a fake Spear of Destiny, but this really long scene ended up being unintentionally meta because we're watching a fake Indiana Jones film. Indy ends up saving his friend Basil Shaw, played by Toby Jones, which is his first mistake considering what it leads to. They also managed to find half of a genuine artifact, the Dial of Destiny, or the Antikythera, which is based on the Antikythera mechanism.
We've had to rethink the history of technology completely as a result of this single object. It's such a clever, extraordinary, sophisticated machine, completely shocking for ancient Greece.
It was discovered that there were gear wheels inside it.
This was the first shock because anything from ancient Greece simply shouldn't have gear wheels. These were precision gears with teeth about 1 millimeter long, and this was just completely shocking.
Go look it up for yourself. That story is far more interesting than this movie. Again, that was one of the more tolerable scenes. I would have much rather have seen that, but now it's over and things go downhill. But not to worry, there's only 2 hours and 10 minutes of this film to go. Fast forward to 1969, the year I was born, and Indiana Jones is sad, pathetic, possibly alcoholic. His son is dead, and he's been served divorce papers. Sounds fun, right? Grab the kids, jump into the car, and let's go see a sad, broken down version of your dad's favorite character get demoralized some more. And they don't waste any time. If any of that wasn't enough, Indiana Jones is on the verge of retirement, and the kids who used to adore him are now bored by him. As I said, this is where a film that wasn't very good in the first place goes completely downhill because we are introduced to Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Helena Shaw, the character they killed off Indiana Jones's son, Mutt Lange, for so he could be given a female version of himself, except absolutely insufferable. And I know a lot of the critics at Cannes were saying she was the one who brought down this movie, and they were not underselling that. When I say insufferable, I want you to think of 1,000 fingers scratching on 1,000 chalkboards mixed in with the cackling of 1,000 hens. But a film that takes place in 1969 is not going to stop Disney Lucasfilm from inserting a diverse girl boss who just so happens to be in charge of the CIA Nazi team. And it appears Mads Mikkelsen's Jürgen Voller survives getting smashed in the face on a high-speed train after the Antikythera was stolen from him back in 1939, and now he's playing the part of Werner von Braun.
Perhaps the most notable recruit brought to America under Operation Paperclip was Werner von Braun, who had been the technical director at the Peenemünde Army Research Center in Germany, where the V-2 rocket was developed, which would rain death and destruction on Great Britain during the early years of the war.
Go look it up for yourself. That story is far more interesting than this movie. The CIA Nazis with the very diverse girl boss are in pursuit of not Indiana Jones, but Helena Shaw, who knows that Indiana Jones has the Antikythera. He doesn't recognize her at first after not seeing her for 18 years, but then he decides to take her to it, which leads the CIA/Nazi team led by the diverse girl boss to go to the school and murder staff. The insufferable feminist then double-crosses Voller's CIA Nazi team led by the diverse girl boss and Indiana Jones, who Helena leaves to die, and then the murders get pinned on Indy. And the creators of this film want you to actually like the character of Helena Shaw. Can't imagine why people don't. I guess the good news is not that many people are actually going to see this film. They got that going for them. Then we get the second bloated, over CGI'd inane chase scene. I don't know if I've mentioned that this movie is long, but the good news is, I guess, if you decide to see it, which you shouldn't, you'll have lots of opportunities to take bathroom breaks, check your phone, have a nap, ponder your very bad decision. The action scenes reflect the entirety of Indiana Jones and the dialysis of destruction. Empty and soulless. After the now wanted for murder Indiana Jones rides a horsey into a subway, he escapes and meets Sala, which is supposed to be one of the scenes that makes us feel happy. You remember Sala, and it just makes you feel sad. And that, again, is Crimes Against Imagination, a sad and dour Indiana Jones movie. Then we get some exposition. Shaw, who of course is a better archaeologist than Indiana Jones, is selling artifacts on the black market, and Indiana Jones is wanted for murder. And during this manhunt for Indiana Jones, Sala decides to drop Indy off in the front of the airport and then yell his name.
Give him hell, Indiana Jones! Shut up!
Now, I know airport security was a lot more lax in 1969, but I'm guessing they would have put a cop or two at the airport, but not in this movie. Then there's another flashback where they attempt to provide some characterization for Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Helena Shaw. We see Basil Shaw attempting to destroy the Antikythera because he has discovered that it can predict fissures in time. How? The power of math, people. Now, Basil has been driven mad by the device and he wants to destroy it, but Indy keeps him from destroying it and then takes it and then promises to destroy it. No, that doesn't make very much sense, but there's a lot of that in this movie. All this happens in front of 12-year-old Helena Shaw and then the good friend of Basil Shaw, so much so that he made Indiana Jones the godfather of his daughter, fucked off, never to see him again, and then he doesn't do the thing he promised to do, destroy the Antikythera. Now, if it wasn't enough to make Indy sad, broken, pathetic, possibly alcoholic, retiring, serve divorce papers, and also giving him a dead son, they also made him a dick. But there is another unintentional meta line within that flashback scene when Basil Shaw says, some things should stay buried. Yes, they should. And despite there being a manhunt for Indiana Jones because he is suspected of murder, he's able to easily board a plane and go to Morocco. Then we are introduced to a slightly less annoying character than Helena Shaw, Marcus, or shorter, rounder. Indiana Jones arrives just as Helena Shaw is selling the half of the Antikythera to the highest bidder, And this brings us to this scene.
You stole it. Then you stole it.
And then I stole it. It's called capitalism.
You gotta love it when a multi-billion-dollar corporation that spent $300 million on this movie alone, who was so far in bed with the CCP, they thanked a concentration camp in China, wants to make some sort of commentary on capitalism. This is followed by another boring chase scene that is filled with contrivances within a movie that's filled with contrivances. This is involving Voller with his Nazi goons who are still affiliated with the CIA at this point, shorter-er, rounder-er, Indiana Jones, and our lead, Phoebe Waller-Bridges, Helena Shaw. This is where we need to talk about suspension of disbelief. And I know this gets stretched a bit in Indiana Jones films, but I can handle a bunch of angels flying out of a gold box and killing some Nazis. I can handle a guy getting his heart ripped out and he's still alive to see it. I can handle a 900-year-old knight passing out some drinks. I can handle a bunch of people jumping out of a plane in a raft and surviving. I would even go so far to say that I can handle Indiana Jones surviving a nuclear explosion in a refrigerator. But there's no way in hell you're going to convince me that Phoebe Waller-Bridge is beautiful.
How did you end up like this?
I mean, resourceful, daring, beautiful, self-sufficient.
Oh, but it doesn't end there. Then we get Phoebe Waller-Bridge, action star. She's resourceful, beautiful. She can memorize her father's books. She's a better archaeologist than Indiana Jones. This is what it sounds like. Self-insert Kathleen Kennedy fanfic. After another monotonous chase, Voller and his Nazi goons are somehow caught by the CIA. How? Don't know. The CIA picked up Voller just to tell him he's been cut off. Then he betrays them. Then he kills the diverse girl boss of the CIA Nazi team and reveals he's a Nazi. How did she not know that? Don't know. Helena and her sidekicks, Shorter, Rounder, and Indiana Jones, figure out that the other half of the Antikythera is where they found the original half, in a Roman ship that broke in half, and our hero and her sidekicks go off to find it. With the help of Antonio Banderas, on Antonio Banderas' boat, we get a stellar scene where we find out that Indiana Jones, if he could go back in time, would try to keep his son, Mutt Lange, from enlisting, because he enlisted into the Vietnam War to piss Indiana Jones off, and that's where he died. So Mutt Lange died, pissed at his father. F this movie. Then we get this banger of a line.
I don't believe in magic, Wombat, but a few times in my life I've seen things I can't explain. And I've come to believe it's not so much what you believe, it's how hard you believe it.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
What exactly is that supposed to mean? Indiana Jones, believe hard. Anyway, Antonio Banderas, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and Indiana Jones dive down and find a MacGuffin that will lead them to the other half of the Antikythera. They also see some eels because remember snakes, the Nazis catch.
Do you think that light kills the copyright on playing what they have? I don't understand the blank mark here.
Them, and Antonio Banderas, who shows up just long enough to go for a swim, delivers some poorly executed lines, goes ahead and dies.
Right behind you.
R.I.P. Antonio Banderas, you were the bomb in Zorro. So after the insufferable feminist damn near gets everyone killed, she's able to escape with her sidekicks, Shorter, Rounder, and Indiana Jones in the diapers of despair. The insufferable feminist is awfully proud of herself, and then Indiana Jones has to remind her that his friend has just been killed. She says she's sorry, but she gets over it real quick. Shorter, Rounder ends up getting caught by the Nazi goons, and then everyone's on their way to Archimedes' tomb to get the other half of the Antikythera. And because they're really into driving points home in this film, there is a scene where Indy's climbing a wall, and he has to remind us that he's really old. Yeah, we got that. And since when is Indiana Jones scared of bugs and arachnids?
Get him off! Get him off!
Indiana, Jake, and the insufferable feminists make it to Archimedes' tomb, where they find the other half of the Dial of Destiny, inscriptions on the side that look like birds with propellers, and Archimedes is wearing a watch, proving that the Antikythera can be used to travel in time, but there's a twist. Shorter, Rounder ends up killing the biggest goon and then escapes. Then there's another scuffle as Voller catches up to Indy and Big Bird. Indy gets shot and captured, and Shorter, Rounder saves the emu. Then we find out Voller's big plan. He's going to go back in time with 5 or 6 other guys and reboot the
GG.
Fourth Reich by killing Hitler in 1936. Indiana Jones is old, miserable, shot, and captured by Nazis. How is he going to survive? Not to worry. Phoebe Waller-Bridge action stars in Hot Pursuit. Yeah, she's about as much of an action star as she is beautiful. She steals a motorcycle. She sends Shorter Rounder off to go fly a plane based on the knowledge of one lesson from a drunk pilot in a brothel.
They fly now? They fly now!
Then the gangly British woman action star chases down the German plane on a motorcycle, jumps off said motorcycle onto the moving plane's landing gear. And that is only slightly
I know, right? It's always snakes. He freaks out on snakes, not on bugs.
believable than Phoebe Waller-Bridge being beautiful, which is slightly less believable than Shorter Rounder getting into a plane, being able to fly it, and then following a German plane through a time fissure. And yes, the Antikythera can travel in time, but that twist is it can only go to one place, the Siege of Syracuse. So both planes make it through the time fissure, and after the initial astonishment, the German plane is damaged by a Roman bolt, and instead of doing something like, I don't know, flying up, it decides to stay at an altitude where it can get damaged by more Roman bolts and trebuchet projectiles. I guess the Nazis kind of forgot about the Roman fleet. Indiana Jones is shot and fighting Nazis. Helena Shaw is trying to save Indiana Jones from the Nazis. The Nazis are too busy not flying up to avoid the Romans. In the interest of your valuable time and mine, we're just going to get this over with. The German plane is too badly damaged and can no longer gain altitude because they never bothered to gain altitude when they could. The insufferable feminist and Indy escape with a parachute. Waller and the German goons die in the plane crash, and Indy and the stork end up meeting Archimedes as they were destined to. But Disney and Lucasfilm are not done deconstructing our favorite hero. Indiana Jones, one of the greatest characters ever created, who fought his entire fictional life to preserve history, now just wants to give up and die in the past, which he could unintentionally or intentionally change, which would put the future in danger. And it's a total betrayal of this character. And this leads us to the worst scene easily in any Indiana Jones film, and maybe the worst scene Lucasfilm has ever created. And yes, in the Indiana Jones film, Phoebe Waller-Bridge is here to save the day. After Indy basically pleads to just lay down and die, she knocks him out and they're back in New York. And yeah, it's that quick. All to bring us to a very contrived ending and the return of Karen Allen's Marion, where they reverse and repurpose a scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark. And this is supposed to be the happy ending. Of course, you'll have to forget that it completely destroys the one good thing about Crystal Skull, the ending where Indy and Marion get married in front of their son. And it tries to be another Indy finale when we already had a perfect Indy finale. Indiana Jones riding off into the sunset with his dad, Sala, and Brody. But it can't undo it because there's only 3 Indiana Jones films: Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and Last Crusade. In the simplest terms, this was a really bad movie. It was poorly shot, poorly edited, and poorly written. And considering how many times this film was delayed, there's no excuse for that. Yet, I am left with a lot of questions about this very confusing film. How did the CIA knowingly protect a former Nazi and actively help him in his side hustle of trying to restart the Fourth Reich and not notice he was a Nazi? I'm guessing Diversity Girl Boss wasn't their strength. Who in the hell was this CIA guy with crutches who got murdered by Indiana Jones? After the faculty was killed at the university, how in the hell was following Helena Shaw and getting back the Dial of Destiny going to clear Indiana Jones' name of murder? How in the hell did Sala know that Helena has sold black market artifacts in the past? Who has bailed her out when she was busted? What time the auction was going to be in Morocco? What time Helena was going to be in Morocco? What, did he Google it? How in the hell did Shorter Rounder learn how to fly from one lesson by a drunk pilot on fake instruments in a brothel? How did the insufferable feminist Indiana Jones, Shorter Rounder, and a pilot who randomly fell asleep and woke up while they were flying through the fissure that I forgot to mention, all fit in a very small plane and then take off with no runway and then fly back through a fissure to 1969? And once they did that, how did the wanted murderer Indiana Jones just fly back to New York? And what happened to those murder charges, because they never mentioned if he cleared his name or not? All those questions.
I knew Boss had an ace on that hand.
Are met with the collective? I don't know, and honestly, I don't care, because this movie, again, is quite literally pointless. Apparently, Archimedes invented the Antikythera to open up a time fissure to possibly get some help against the Romans, which doesn't work. Syracuse still falls, Archimedes still dies. The dial of destiny was only set to go to one place, so the Nazis were never going to achieve their goal of killing Hitler in 1936 and rebooting the Fourth Reich. That being said, this film would still have an awkward plot synopsis if you think about it. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Daredevil archaeologist Indiana Jones races against time with an insufferable feminist to save Hitler. And as far as that erroneous theory goes about removing Indiana Jones from Raiders of the Lost Ark and the outcome remains the same, I would counter it with removing Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Helena Shaw from the Dial of Dysentery. Remove her from the story and it's a lot shorter, less miserable. A few more people would still be alive and the outcome remains the same. And Indy probably would have gotten back together with Marion anyway. And I guess the good news is there are no more characters Kathleen Kennedy and Disney Lucasfilm can fuck up from George Lucas, with the added bonus of this film probably ending the inexplicable 15 minutes of fame of Phoebe Waller-Bridge. And this may come as a shocker, but Indiana Jones and the Replacement Hip is going to flop, falling well below the very low, optimistic opening weekend of $70 million. It now looks like it's going to have a $60 million opening weekend, which is 40 million below the Crystal Skulls opening weekend, which came out 15 years ago, which is an opening weekend comparable to the massive flop that was The Flash. And I remind you, this is a $300 million film. It needs to make $750 million worldwide minimum to turn a profit. Yet somehow, Kathleen Kennedy still has a job. Like I said, this film is dour. It is miserable. It is an Indiana Jones film brought to you by the studio that made The Last Jedi for people who like The Last Jedi. But wait, I've got some breaking news. This just in from a very reliable source. I am told that Kathleen Kennedy is out at Lucasfilm as soon as she leaves. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard, I thank you for listening this long. I will see you in the next video.
Nerdrotic.com.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. The Democrat way of thinking. Anyone who disagrees with me as a Russian agent or a racist. Any policy I disagree with is fascism. Any decision that the Supreme Court makes that I don't agree with is unconstitutional. This leftist lunacy is something else, huh? It's not even divisive partisan rhetoric, it's just the truth. You leftoids are a bunch of whiny little babies. We gotta talk about that concept, featuring none other than Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and her incoherent temper tantrum ramblings over recent statements made by Justice Clarence Thomas, the one and only, the man of the hour, an American superhero and icon. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so here's the clip that's bouncing all over Twitter. Let's just play it in its entirety and then discuss the ideas.
I'm going to talk more broadly about the court in a minute, but first I want to ask about another decision this past week, striking down affirmative action programs. The two Black justices on the court, Justice Clarence Thomas and Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, had a really blistering debate that we don't usually see in decisions. Here is part of what Justice Thomas wrote. He said, quote, Justice Jackson uses her broad observations about statistical relationships between race and select measures of health, wealth, and well-being to label all Blacks as victims. Her desire to do so is unfathomable to me. It is an insult to individual achievement and cancerous to young minds seeking to push through barriers. Their race is not to blame for everything, good or bad, that happens in their lives. What is your response to that?
I mean, what Justice Clarence Thomas wrote there, I believe, is profoundly disrespectful. I just think it was profoundly disrespectful to his colleague. It includes sweeping assumptions about her worldview, whereas when you look at what the response was from Justice Ketanji Brown, we saw that her dissent was grounded in fact. It was grounded in the facts of the case. It did not disparage Clarence Thomas's overall worldview, but as a matter of fact, a nuanced critique of his analysis of the facts of the case. But for him to come out and insinuate that her opinion is due to some sort of inferior or less than really thought out of a stance, I think it's profoundly insulting. And I think that he really demonstrated his character, frankly, and his worldview in that critique himself.
Now, I know I just said before I played that clip, let's discuss the ideas, but I run into a little bit of an issue there because I'm honestly not exactly sure what the hell AOC was even talking about. You know, you can tell when somebody doesn't have a point, when they're just kind of making it up as they go. You know, listening to such incoherent rambling reminds me of listening to a know-it-all 13-year-old stuck in a corner just refusing to admit that they don't know what the hell they're talking about, but just digging those heels in and going deeper and deeper, rambling on a bunch of know-nothing and nonsense. AOC has completely lost the plot because the simple fact here is there's nothing to argue against. Clarence Thomas hit the nail on the head. AOC claims that what Clarence Thomas said was profoundly disrespectful, but she has it backwards as usual. You know what's deeply and profoundly disrespectful? Ketanji Brown Jackson's public statements. She's supposed to be an impartial justice, making decisions purely based on the Constitution, but instead she's acting like every other Democrat. She's acting like an activist in her position. Not to mention how irresponsible it is for her to be promoting her personal opinions publicly, more so than any justice in history. Here's a chart of her public statements since assuming her role as a Supreme Court justice. Words spoken by each justice in their first 8 arguments. Ketanji Brown Jackson has 11,000 words spoken. In other words, she's inserting her personal opinion and activist rhetoric into her job as an impartial Supreme Court justice. It's totally shameful. AOC argued multiple times that actually Ketanji Brown Jackson is simply speaking with facts and statistics. She said that multiple times without actually providing any evidence as to why Ketanji Brown Jackson's argument is correct. What it really boils down to is exactly what Justice Clarence Thomas stated, that she's looking at the broad statistics based on race and then making sweeping broad generalizations about particular groups of people, and of course using this woke way of thinking as a justification for literal racial discrimination. That is the core point here. 3 left-leaning activist Democrat Supreme Court justices are arguing that racism and discrimination is justified because of broad unequal outcomes for certain communities. It's all complete nonsense. And that's why AOC can't put together a coherent argument. Instead, it's just Ketanji Brown Jackson has the facts. Yeah, that's not an argument. The second argument is that the Supreme Court has been hijacked by Republican extremists who've gone rogue. But this argument falls short as well, considering what we're actually seeing are proper constitutional decisions, and most importantly, in a way, democracy in action. The claim is that the Supreme Court has gone rogue and isn't representing the people, isn't representing the right thing or the Constitution, but is simply doing Donald Trump's bidding, even though the Supreme Court multiple times has ruled against Donald Trump, especially related to 2020 issues. But anyways, the reality is the left was just dealt another blow as the majority of Americans approve of the SCOTUS affirmative action decision. In other words, it seems as though the popular view, by a significant margin, 20% more people approve of the SCOTUS decision than disapprove. It seems as though the SCOTUS decision isn't so far off from the popular view. It's not a rogue Supreme Court that's doing what it wants. It's a Constitution-abiding, common-sense Supreme Court. That's what Democrats hate. What they want are a bunch of Ketanji Brown Jacksons stacked on the court to make decisions that they agree with politically, to make left-wing political revolution decisions, changing the country in their minority image, because to them, that's democracy in action. It's a complete farce. And it goes even further. Of course, these left-wing lunatics, with AOC leading the charge, are taking their rhetoric to the extreme.
I'm sure we can.
Occupy Democrats tweets breaking. Not exactly sure why this is breaking, but anyways, Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez drops a bombshell. Again, a breaking bombshell? This is, and you'll see later why those words are ridiculous. A breaking bombshell demands that Chief Supreme Court Justice John Roberts be subpoenaed and that Congress take a long, hard look at impeaching Justice Clarence Thomas. The Supreme Court made a decision that I don't agree with, so we should subpoena and impeach them. See what I mean when I was saying in the intro that they're just a bunch of big babies throwing temper tantrums when they don't get what they want?
Yep.
The Supreme Court made a decision to end racial discrimination.
Good night, unindoctrinated. Love you. Peace.
Within college admissions, a decision that the American people support and agree with, a decision that was totally in line with the Constitution, and the leftist reaction is impeach and subpoena them, and stack the court, of course. And that apparently is a breaking bombshell. I mean, I have no words for this level of stupidity. And speaking of stupidity, let's go into what some of these Democrats at the White House are saying. Biden's education secretary, Miguel Cardona, said, "Today, the Supreme Court substituted itself for Congress."
Today, the court substituted itself for Congress.
What is this guy even going on about? The Supreme Court substituted itself for Congress. Interesting. The implication being that Congress passed student loan bailouts and the Supreme Court stepped in and substituted Congress, blocking the decision? No, that never happened. In fact, Congress explicitly rejected Biden's student loan bailout because that executive order decision did in fact substitute Congress, seek to subvert Congress's authority on the issue of debt and debt relief. Then here's Joe Biden saying this.
I believe the court's decision to strike down my student debt relief program was a mistake, was wrong.
He believes that the court's decision was a mistake and wrong. Also this.
Biden, the Congressional Black Caucus said the Supreme Court has thrown into question its own legitimacy. Is this a rogue court?
This is not a normal court.
That the Supreme Court is not a normal court. I don't know, seems like a normal court to me. But these leftoids, they don't get what they want. Well, the problem isn't them and their minority view. No, the problem is the court itself. Completely ridiculous. Could you imagine if Donald Trump had said that? What the media coverage would be like? Donald Trump, the wannabe dictator fascist, questions the legitimacy of SCOTUS, attacking the credibility of, yet again, another crucial American institution. Give me a freaking break. Leftoids throwing a big old temper tantrum. Leftoids severely wrong on the actual issue. What's new? Breaking bombshell. AOC is completely freaking clueless. That's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Oops. Sorry. I heard that end.
Everything's fine. I'm working on a story.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. I got information that some elderly people have been getting scammed out of this location. You have any comments on that? Deputy who? Desir. You know this a one-way? Why did you, instead of going in the parking lot, why would you break the traffic laws and go down the wrong way on the one-way? So they get to tell you to break the traffic laws because you got a call? And you blocking the sidewalk. There's a parking lot right there. What's your name and your badge number? First Amendment, you ever heard of it? Big Nick, South Florida Accountability. I'm in the city of Lauderdale Lakes. I'm coming out to conduct a First Amendment audit of the perimeter of the Panu Eye Institute. We're going to make sure that the Institute respects and honors the public's right to record in public. Let's go 6. Everything's fine. I'm working on a story. Yeah. I got information that some elderly people have been getting scammed out of this location. You have any
Oh
comments
shit,
on
run
that?
the money.
You are? Your name? Have you guys been scamming senior citizens?
No. Oh, pull up on the sidewalk. I didn't watch this.
So this is a one-way. This is a one-way. That is a parking lot right there. This is a one-way. Now he's gonna block the sidewalk. Deputy who? Desir, you know this is a one-way? Why did you, instead of going in the parking lot, why would you break the traffic laws and go down the wrong way on the one-way? So that get to tell you to break the traffic laws because you got a call? And you blocking the sidewalk. There's a parking lot right there. No, but I want to address your discrepancies that you would hold me accountable for. So that means you get to break the law. Does that mean that? You didn't answer that question. I don't care what the call is about. You don't get to break the law.
GG, Anna. Look at the tint on that car.
This deputy decided to bypass a parking lot where he can go in there and park his vehicle safely and then go and conduct his investigation. But he decided to travel the opposite way down a one-way street, and then he decided to just completely block off this sidewalk because he got a call. It doesn't work like that, folks. Car 5905. I didn't give it. Why would you need my ID? Why? Do I have to show you my ID? I mean, if I have to show you my ID, then I will. Am I required to show ID? Because you asked I'm required to show ID? I know, I understand that, but am I I just want to get that straight because I don't want to break the law. I'm required based on what circumstance? No, let's talk about the requirement. Based on what specifications am I required to give you my ID? Right. Do you have authority to identify me? I just want seriously. Under what provisions? Committing a crime, about to commit a crime, or in the process of committing a crime. So am I required ID to you? You just said you don't have any proper cause. Am I required to ID? See, words matter, especially to the people who don't know. So I'm asking you, am I required to give you my ID? But you said yes. Right. But I guarantee you, no, wait. I guarantee you, without words, you can honestly see what's going on. You can tell me what's going on without me using words. You see a camera, you see me standing on a public sidewalk, and you see all this stuff that I can photograph. Now, what do you think is going on? Put all that together, what do you think is going on? Do you see a law being broken? Is there a law you need to enforce?
I just want to address you by your name.
Right.
My name, I just want to know your name.
Right. But you're required to give me your name.
All right. So I just spoke to the doctor inside. But what she said, she doesn't. The patient that's inside the business, they feel comfortable. You videotape.
Are you a feelings police? Are you the feelings enforcer or a law enforcer?
I don't care what you do. You know what I'm saying? How you do it? The patient.
Are you a feelings enforcer or a law enforcer? Do you enforce feelings or law? Did you tell him I have every right to do this? Did you? I mean, that'll ease their discomfort if you tell them, hey, he has every right to do this. He's a law-abiding citizen. He's not breaking the law. And my job as a law enforcer is to enforce the law. If there's no law to be enforced, I have no purpose. Tell them. No, don't tell me. You're preaching to the choir. You're preaching to the choir right now. Tell them. They should have stayed home, right? If they feel uncomfortable in public, they should have stayed home.
Get him, Matt. Big hand. Oh, Matt. Oh. Never mind.
See, I'm not going to bend to the government's will for me to provide them information. I'm not going to do that. I'm not breaking the law. I'm doing something that's constitutionally protected. I'm a journalist. I have the freedom of press. Now, you're giving me 21 questions about something where you see no law being broken. And I don't understand that where the resources are being used at right now, when there's people out there that honestly probably need you. And then I want to address this, man. Come on. If you saw me do this, you'll write me a ticket, especially parking on the sidewalk like this. There's no emergency lights on. There's no legitimate reason for you to be parked in such a manner, other than you guys are above the law. And she's doing the same. Any particular reason why you guys are parked on the sidewalk? What's your name and your badge number? It's in your policy, deputy. You're on the scene, name and badge number. No, I don't know what that's. I can't. I'm visually impaired. But can you enunciate it for me? That's all. Was that so hard? What's your name and your badge number?
Deputy Jensen, 20241.
Thank you. Your name and your badge number? Thank you. You guys can 10-8. He already determined there's no probable cause, there's no law being broken. You guys can 10-8. Yeah, I know, but you guys can 10-8. There's crime being committed. There's crimes being committed. Are you the feelings enforcer or a law enforcer? Are you a feelings enforcer or a law enforcer? I don't care. I feel uncomfortable with all these people around me with guns. Are you going to do something about that? Are you going to do anything about that? Me being uncomfortable with all you guys with guns around me? No? You're not going to do anything about that, Thornton? Can you help me on that? I'm uncomfortable. All you guys got guns. He's willing to do something for them. They're uncomfortable, and I have no gun. So can I get something done for me? I'm uncomfortable. Does that matter, Desir? Does my comfortability matter? I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable.
Aaron fell asleep a while ago. She finally got cleared out of the tournament. Just Matt and Jesse Jackson left now.
I'm uncomfortable, but I'm uncomfortable with all these people with guns around me. If they're uncomfortable with a camera, how do you think I feel with guns? So you guys can 10-8. Let's make everybody comfortable. You guys can go, and I'll be okay. Right. So my comfort doesn't matter. My discomfort doesn't matter. But nobody mentioned the crime to you, and you're telling me their discomfort. What about? I'm telling you, I'm discomfort, and you're not caring about that. Because an agency, well, not this particular agency, but a profession that is known to kill people that look like me, is standing within arm's distance of me with weapons. So I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable because my life is 6 times more likely to be taken by you guys than anybody else. That makes me very uncomfortable.
She may still have the tab open, but she went to bed.
Comfortable. So you guys can 10-8. There isn't a law being broken. Somebody right now is in trouble. But you guys are
Once
here
this tournament's over with, I'm killing
to a public photographer who hasn't been on their property, who hasn't broken one law. Because if I had broken the law, I wouldn't be standing here holding this camera having this discussion with you. Are you guys looking for a crime now? Again, without me telling you what's going on, what would your eyes decipher me doing? You don't have to read mine. You can read actions. You can read actions. There's a law-abiding citizen standing on public property holding a recording device, exercising the First Amendment to the United States Constitution of freedom of press. He's not breaking any laws, and you guys want to know what I'm doing. Where in the Constitution does it tell me that I have to tell you what I'm doing? No, there's the questioning. I told him before you got here, words matter. He told me that I'm required to identify to him as if I don't know Florida statutes 901.151, which I will not identify. Now I'm flat out refusing to. Is that against the law? Is that obstruction? Because in order to ID me, you need probable cause of a crime being committed, about to be committed, or have been committed. In order for me, a Floridian, a taxpaying citizen, to relinquish my Fourth Amendment right to you. Do you have any of that? It's a yes or no. You want me to answer your questions, but you want to answer mine. It's a yes or no. Do you have any of that? I feel like you answered when you asked me, what am I doing? You didn't know?
We're on the same level right now.
Okay. Why we still here then? Why we still here?
Initial contact with you, I asked you, sir, tell me your name so I can address you by your name.
Good citizen. Good citizen. Good citizen. It doesn't matter. I'm not required to give the government my name. This isn't Russia. I don't care about those patients. I don't care. I don't care. Where their feelings start, my rights doesn't end. Where their feelings begin, my rights don't end. Now, I gave you Florida statute. I told you about the Fourth Amendment. You see I'm not breaking the law. Why you got, okay, I'm not detained, am I? Am I detained? I'm not detained? Okay, because you guys are half circling me. I don't like that. No, I'm not leaving. I just don't like to be half circled like that. You guys think I'm wasting time and I'm being silly, but I'm not. I'm standing up for the oath I took.
Oh, Matt,
That's what
give me
should
a hit.
happen to the camera. People should be silly in front of the camera. Don't think people are trying to hurt people. How many cameras did you guys pass by getting here? So sometimes I wonder, is it the camera or is it the man with the camera? I know. I'm not blaming you guys. I'm not blaming you guys. If the job is being done right, I applaud it. But when the job is being done to manipulate, I'm going to push back on it. Right? I'm going to push back. You guys are going to see the video, and I asked him several times, am I required to give you my ID? Him thinking I don't know, said, yeah, I'm required. That's not right. That's not right. I know. Hey, I believe you're a good dep. I believe Tony don't hire nothing but the best. So I need you guys to be that way. I'm going to tell you who she looks like. Light-skinned Rihanna. You're a light-skinned Rihanna. Or maybe it's a compliment to Rihanna. 10-8? Told you that 5-10 minutes ago. You too, man. Be safe. Thanks for your professionalism. Hey, Desir, come on, man. But you still ain't tell me why you did this, though, man. Hold on. You still ain't. Hey, hold on. You too, man.
How far over the line he is. His whole car length over the line. Which I get it. In some corners, you have to pull up. I figured he pointed it out. Matt, good job. Jesse, GG. This is going to wrap up the stream, guys.
But these people break all types of traffic laws. Things that they would give you and I a ticket from. Now, that car that you just saw heading eastbound on Oakland Park was behind this black car here in the turning lane and turned left and decided they didn't want to turn left anymore and just pulled right out into traffic with no traffic signal. That cop is right there. Obviously, he's looking in this direction, so I know he saw that officer make that illegal lane change to go straight. No accountability at all. But yet and still, me standing on a public sidewalk, exercising my constitutional right, not breaking the law, having the cop admit that he had no probable cause for anything, yet and still, they send 4 cars to me as if I'm a criminal. Well, that's the way you handle it, folks. You don't need to panic. You don't need to get belligerent. You just ask them simply what authority they have to dictate any of your movements or actions. Big Nick, South Florida Accountability, the city of Lauderdale Lakes, at the Panu Eye Institute. They fail, folks. Out.
Out. They failed, folks. So Oops.
Oink, oink. Oink, 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 oink. I'm the best piggy. Oink, 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 oink. Best piggy in the town. Oink, 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 oink. Piggy, piggy. Oink, 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 oink. I'm a pig. Oink, 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 oink. I'm the best piggy. Oink, 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 oink. Best piggy in the town. Oink, 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 oink. Piggy, piggy. Oink, 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 oink. I'm a pig. Can I get piggies in the chat? Piggies in the chat. I'm the best piggy. Piggy in the chat. Can I get some oink, oink, oink? Oink, oink, motherfuckers. Oink, 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 oink. Oink, 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 oink. I'm the best piggy. Oink, 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 oink. Best piggy in the town. Oink, 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 oink. Piggy, piggy. Oink, 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 oink. I'm a pig. Oink, 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 oink. I'm the best piggy. Oink, 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 oink. Best piggy in the town. Oink, 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 oink. Piggy, piggy. Oink, 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 oink. I'm a pig.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make.
Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with. Now they looking nervously, and I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better, see. I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy. Hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some therapy. I got the motherfucking recipe. I've been cooking up hits, I'ma leave a legacy. You'll be looking small when you're standing right next to me. I'm 5'10", bitch, but I'm 10 feet next to me.
I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way.
Coming out with a statement. You really changed, man, all your music and arrangement. You don't know shit, shut your mouth, you can save it. I'm the same dude that got his come up from the basement. 100 songs, 100 weeks, didn't change it. Experiments, development, intelligence, and patience. I'll do it all again, cause I never feel complacent. Let's keep the good vibes, positivity's contagious. I'm never looking back, cause I made a life that's passionate. A college graduate suppressing all his talents, yeah. He found a way to go and change, become an advocate. For taking control of your life, go out and battle. And you think you have a dream, then act on it. Get after it, get out your head and fucking capture it. You got one life to master it. Don't give up on your future, we all start losers. We're all late bloomers, gotta struggle through the sewer.
What you say? Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way.